Start
All
streaming.
right.
Hey, Warp
Hey,
Citizen.
everybody. Welcome. Hey, y'all. We are live on the Vidyuu Nights channel. This is our first live stream, actually, which is surprising considering we've had Horizon Live for quite a while. We've just never been live in Horizon Live like we are right now. So that's quite cool.
I know, right?
I'm going to go quickly check on the live stream. Why don't you keep us going?
Yeah, for sure. So, welcome my live streaming bot front and center. So, if you've never seen DJ Carlos before in a world, this is my other account that we use to live stream, that we do video captures for a lot of the tutorials that are out there. And we're continuing to use for more live streaming events. So, um, that's why he's got his shoulders pushed back and his arms at his side because there's no headset attached. But for those of you who are here in the audience, appreciate y'all being here. If you've never been to Horizon Live was actually first launched as kind of a continuation of the Creator Spotlight that we used to do last year, early on during the beta. And then rather than just identifying creators that were really building amazing worlds, which every single week we would have more and more creators coming in and creating more and more amazing worlds, we decided we were going to kind of cater this show to something that was a little more focused. So we started off really strong with we had Lakes and Merc here talking about kind of their origins in Horizon. We moved into the LGBTQ plus everything you need to know about how to be an ally world by Echo Flower and Sassy 3K. And then from there, most recent was the launcher competition, which ended last October. We had the winners up on stage here, kind of talking about their journey through getting accepted into, or not getting accepted, but actually participating in the event, how to kind of figure out if you need a collaborator in your world, and then how they were notified and what they thought. Considering all three of them were blown away by just even being a part of it and being considered as an honorable mention, and the three up on stage, they couldn't believe that they won first, second, and third prize. So those launchers are now in your asset library. So if you are in build mode and you open up your asset library, you can see the splatter slingshot, you can see the bard's instrument, and you can see the hops mechanic in the rabbit from Matthias, Space Turtle, um, and Miles and their collaborators and world testers. So it's awesome to be able to see not only these winners of these competitions, now their creations moving into something that's featured by Horizon, not just in the plaza, but also now a usable mechanic in the asset library. So, how do you feel about the asset library currently? I know having some featured assets in there, it's now more useful since we can create our own assets. How has it
hmm
powered you
hmm
up and leveled you up, considering you are the asset king of the Video Essentials bundle?
Oh, not asset king. No, no, no. There are plenty of those, but I do make a few assets. I've been very ecstatic. I think there's a lot of room to continue growing, but I'm being very patient. I know this stuff takes literally years. This asset feature was
Hmm.
worked on for well over a year before we finally got it here in our hands. So I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next. You know, my number one feature request is we want sharing. Asset sharing is going to be huge. I'm still struggling to share the Video Essentials bundle. I mean, we've sent it out to several thousand people at this point, and then they've shared it on top of that sharing. So it's definitely gone
Hmm.
to probably 10,000 plus. I wouldn't be surprised, and which is insane, by the way, absolutely insane. But definitely getting it to people is the hardest thing because there's a lot of new users who do not have a connection yet, and they're trying to get access. And the current methodology just is not exactly very easy. So looking forward to some new methods for that, and I really appreciate everybody who voted on the. There's two actually on the user voice forums. One is for the video assets to be added to the asset library. So thank you if you voted for that. And the second one to that is being able to share assets just for everybody. And so the more votes we get on that, the more Horizon team knows that we all want that as a feature. And we'll hopefully get to see that added very soon.
So yeah, we'll try and link those down in the comments somewhere or in the description after the live stream. That way, if you haven't yet, go to User Voice. It's horizonworlds.uservoice.com, and then you can search for literally Vidyuu, and you'll pull up the Vidyuu Essentials User Voice feature request.
Yeah, I'll add it right now.
And you can look through anything else that's he's going to go at it now. So anything else that you see that you are interested in, because the more people that vote on the feature requests, the more that the meta team and the people who are at Horizon are going to recognize more of what you want. It kind of gives them a little bit of direction and information on what the community is looking for, and you don't have to kind of scream in a user group. You can literally organize your thoughts in the comments of that. If you have additional maybe enhancements to what somebody's put as their feature request, or maybe your own feature request if it's not there. So make sure you go to horizonworlds.uservoice.com. Obviously, go vote on the two feature requests that Lakes has been mentioning, and then anything else you see of interest. And of course, if you have any bugs, enter those there as well, because we need to get these bugs fixed. So if you're the first to see it and it's not in there, post it. If you've got video, if you've got pictures, add those too. It's very helpful, and that way it saves time trying to reproduce those bugs when they go to fix them.
Yeah, I gotta admit,
So
I
you
am
were
the
talking
worst
about
at this. uh for bugs specifically. No, like this is so true. Literally, when I joined Horizon almost 2 years ago now, I just ignored bugs because I was like, yeah, it's a beta, but there's somebody else who's reported that bug for sure, right? Like there's thousands of people, and at that point there was maybe 1,000 people, probably a lot less.
yeah.
It's just such a small community, but I had no idea. I just thought this was a worldwide beta, and they didn't tell us anything about how many people were in. And so now we've opened to the public. We heard numbers are in the hundreds of thousands of people who've joined Horizon, but that's actually really small. If you think about 100,000 people, and
Hmm.
you're maybe one out of 100,000 who actually even thought to report that bug. So it's really important that when you do have that thought, you go in and post it on user voice, so that way it gets flagged and then can get fixed. What were you saying though, Oculus?
Part of what you were mentioning, I try to catch on to certain things if people are really going well into detail of their thought. But as far as the two user voice features that you put in and all the traction you
Hmm.
got,
Hmm.
so share with people all the places that you are now, because you've expanded your social media presence, you're expanding the YouTube channels, and obviously you now have a Vidyuu showroom instead of the essentials bundles. So talk a little bit about that.
Mm. Yeah, so I'm trying to get rid of the video asset pack as it was, and I don't mean this to be bad. I just we need a better way to share assets. Um, if you look at
Hmm.
the video assets showroom, there is about 30 assets not featured in there that are in the Vidyuu accounts asset library that we could pull out at any time to share those, but there's no room. We're at world capacity. And so we've been working on a new feature that would allow us to potentially create a singular object. If you haven't checked it out, it's a beta world called Vidyuu Asset Wand. The Vidyuu Asset Wand basically allows you to place an asset, and so you could theoretically have a list of, I think it's 150 assets is how many are in the asset bundle if you had the full complete, which nobody does because it's impossible at this point. It's about 150% of world capacity. It's huge. And but
Hmm.
if you had that wand, you could have access to all of them, place one down, and then theoretically have access to it. There are still a lot of bugs, and I've mentioned them to the Horizon team on why that doesn't work. Specifically, when you duplicate an asset, it breaks the script. The script just stops working. So if it's a static object like a plant, that could work, and that is something I've been thinking about, is actively creating like a static object wand that allows you to have 100 different static objects that you can now place, and then all of the scripted objects are the ones that still have to be in the showroom. But yeah, so the intermediary for me is the showroom, which allows us to get kind of the most recent, my favorite assets out to everybody. We update the copies. There's 4 copies of the showroom, so you can get those. And I'm not really advertising that you can take a selfie. We are still accepting selfies, but we're really hoping that we can get the assets added to the asset library. It's just not happening at this point. So I'm just like, fingers crossed, hope it happens. Keep knocking on the door, and hopefully we'll get those video assets out to everybody. Um, but I don't think that's where the asset conversation stops. But I'll let you talk for a second, Oculus.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to change that name up there because we're in the wrong seats.
We are.
No, but in all
Oh.
seriousness, the asset library, the ability to create your own assets, I've noticed has leveled up a lot of creators, because before the asset library was released publicly, I was still seeing in literally every world that I went to, for the most part. The Vidyuu mic was like the biggest thing. The Vidyuu mic is still in here, but it's been kind of broken down a little bit and stationary. But so many assets that I recognize from the Video Essentials bundle, I would see in every new world that was populated. The asset library now, I think people are collaborating and able to pull a lot of what was in their drafts for the last 6 months, 1 year, and they're
Mm-hmm.
bringing those into these new worlds and able to
Yep.
publish them. Case in point, Street Hoops basketball.
Yep.
That was in drafts for about 4 months, and I just could not get what I needed out of the worlds that I had, scripts and assets, and just things that I'd spent so much time and I didn't want to recreate. And space junk is a thing, so I just refused to import any more worlds. And with the asset library, literally within 24 hours, I was able to bring in everything I needed, get it into Street Hoops, polish it up, and publish it. And that's just a really powerful thing to be able to share as far as asset library. So maybe some of y'all, if you're actually watching the live stream and you're not on your way here, let us know in the comments if there's anything that the asset library has done for you, whether it's help you publish a world or if there's something you were able to pull out of your drafts that now you're working on and you're reigniting, because that's actually good feedback for Meta, so they can see that the things that they're delivering are working and they can continue to improve
Mm-hmm.
on them.
Yeah, I
Speaking
remember working
of
on Street Hoops with you, and we
improvements,
built that new asset in there. And that's the really
yes.
mind blowing feature of the asset library is I was working on something for you that was just kind of a cool little toy, and now it's available to everybody because we could just grab it, drop it into the Vidyuu asset showroom, and boom, it's now in everybody's hands. It's mind blowing.
Yeah, and the hilarious part was the purpose of Street Hoops was to take everything I could possibly get out of the Video Essentials bundle and make a world with it to show people you don't need to be an excellent builder or scripter. You can literally just borrow from the Video Essentials bundle, import, and and you
We
can
heard
make a
that.
world with it. I
That's
don't know what
funny.
you mean. But in all seriousness, like I know a lot of people are intimidated by creation tools and just getting in there is really like the hardest part. But once you hit that create world and name it, even if you leave it blank world, just get some assets from the Video Essentials and you're already like, halfway there, maybe, depending on what you're trying to build. But really, there's so much valuable stuff in there that you could bring into your world. And I know experienced creators have done this just going back to their old worlds and capturing some things that they really wanted to go back and grab so they can reignite them into their new worlds. Have you done that yet? Have you put anything from an old world into a new one?
I did. Yeah, we have Tauntaun who's making a reappearance. You'll see him in the Essentials bundle. That is the
Yay!
little
OG
elephant. His name is
tours.
Tauntaun. Yeah, I adopted him when I was in college. I went to a thrift store. He needed a home, and he's been our child ever since. He's like 10 years old in real life. And KO designed Tauntaun, that elephant specifically. And then Guac was another character that's from
Scary guac.
another Horizon friend, and we recreated him. That was like over a year and a half ago that we created those characters, and be able to go back and grab them was just quite a blessing. Um, the Hey, we got Tanzer here. Before when we get back to assets after Tanzer's
Hey.
question, I'd like to talk about asset spawning because I think it's
Mm-hmm.
a really
That's kind
interesting
of where I was
topic.
going with it when you were talking about
Mm-hmm.
the toy that we were making in Street Hoops. Tanzer VR. Go ahead and unmute. Tell us a little bit about how assets are working for you and whatever you want to talk about. If you have a question or a comment, feel free.
Yeah, I was just gonna off of what you guys were talking about with this asset library. It was something that I've been asking for such a long time because I would spend so much time going to an old world, deleting everything in that world to try to isolate an asset, then deleting
Mm-hmm.
that asset to see if there was any capacity there, and I would find five,
Yep.
7% capacity left. And so all that
Mm-hmm.
time that it took me to delete everything just to find out I'm stuck. There's nothing I can do
Yeah.
here. This is where it is. So I would leave that world as it is with everything almost deleted to be like, one day we're gonna get a space junk tool that I can like finally get this asset back. And then finally they launched the asset library, and I was able to go back to not even that world but the original world and just take that piece, and it's like I saved like something that I like really wanted. I have a world coming out, and I really wanted this lamp that I had made like a long time ago, and it took a lot of work, and I was able to bring it in, and it's such a beautiful thing. And I would hate to, it was too hard to remake. Like it was just
Yeah.
spent a lot of time on it, so I was
Well,
glad to be able to get it back, and it's been like a game changer. The downside of it, it's all upside, but the kind of downside is that I have a lot of worlds over the last like year and a half that I've been in here, and then going into every single world and like assetizing, if that's a word,
yep.
every single thing in every single one of my worlds has been like insane.
I've
So
deleted
and
over
then
a
sometimes I
dozen worlds. like
Oh,
that were just assets. And I've just
100%.
deleted them. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just amazing.
I kind of like it. I've been doing it so much that I forget to take the picture first though before I create the assets. So
Every
I have
time,
so
every
many
time.
without like without a picture, or I didn't put like a backdrop behind it because it was just I'm like, this is too time consuming. I'm just gonna at least it's here. I'll find it. I'll bring it in.
Yeah,
Maybe one day I'll fix it up and clean it up and make it nice. But
yeah,
I'm so excited about the asset library. It's changed my life in Horizon, and now I'm a fast builder, but now it takes me even less time to build a world because I can bring in a lot of things that I've already made
Yes.
over and over again. So
Mhm.
cool. That was all I had. Thanks.
That's awesome.
So real quick
And-
before you disappear, I want to put you on the spot. Did you or did you
I'm
not
back.
grab a box of Oculos for your asset library?
I don't think I
Oh,
have the box of Oculos, but I do have the bowl of Oculos with
I
the
don't have the bowl.
with
We need
with
to get
the
together and
spoon
asset swap.
where you can
Yeah.
eat it and it goes away. I have the bowl of edible Oculos. I don't
We
have the
need
box
asset
of pouring
swapping.
Oculos or
Yes.
the box itself, but I do have a bowl of Oculos. So
Yeah, we got to get
Swap
together and
meets are
asset
gonna be a
swap because
whole
I know
different
in
thing
the
soon.
the kitchen
in the
you have
kitchen,
the frosted lakes, you know,
yes,
boring, and the
and
Everybody
Tanzer
loves
Tanzer
toast
frosted
Crunch.
crunch.
lakes.
Yeah.
So we need to get those
So,
assets somewhere. So
oh
now
yeah.
there's going to be the Tanzer hub of assets. I know you have your Tanzer hub. You want to share a little bit about that? Your Tanzer, your
Oh,
hub.
well,
Trying to fill in that middle
Which one?
word.
I got a
What's it
couple. I
called?
got two
The
couple
fancy
hubs
one.
right now. I have the Tanzer Hub Museum, which is my hub for
The
most of all
museum.
my worlds, and then also I have a lot of my friends' hubs, not hubs, some are hubs, but other worlds and whatnot there as well. So that's the if someone asks me to drop a door somewhere, that's usually the door I'll pick. But I just came out with a new hub, which is the Horizon Homeless Hub, and I
He's
think
collecting
you live
homeless
there,
people
Oculus,
from
don't you?
Horizon. Yeah,
I think you live down
got a
the
nice
street from
cardboard
me. I
box
live.
right outside, opposite of the subway. It's a great view. Nice little warm burning drum with my taco truck. Somebody stole the wheels, so if you have any information, please contact me.
I
And it
live
is for
just
sale.
adjacent. I live adjacent to him, just right below. I live in the sewer, so come drop in sometime and visit me there. But yeah, so I've invited. There's been an update where a lot of users have received their penthouse apartments, and then there's some that are still on the island boys and girls. And I
Mhm.
decide people would ask me, "Oh, do you have your house yet? Do you have your house?" And I'm like, "No, I don't have a home. I'm homeless." So then I decided I said it like 5 or 6 times to people, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to create a homeless world. And I invited all the people that didn't have their apartments to come join me, and it's kind of caught on. And I've actually had a lot of people that have apartments say, "Is there any way I can get rid of this apartment and get one of those boxes?" So, and I'm like, "Oh no! You got a nice house. You're not. You can't come here." But I will be having an auction soon for those people so that they can be included.
Talking to the
Where
mic.
I'm going to be auctioning off the buildings and down the street, and those people can then uh, come and bid on one of the buildings and have your name on the big building, and you can also add a door there as well. So I want everybody to be included. So that'll be coming soon. I'm going on vacation, but when I come back, I'm going to have that auction. So
And for those outside of Horizon, the Horizon Homeless Hub, it actually has information when you spawn in about how to actually help with the homeless epidemic in the real world. So there's resources there that you can reach out to, you can donate to, you can find ways to help. So it's more than just kind of a gag about people waiting to get their home in Horizon. It's also a good resource to actually help people in the real world. So shout out Tanzer
spread
VR
some
for
awareness.
that.
Thank you,
Woo,
appreciate it. Yeah,
for sure.
it's gone over really well. I was kind of nervous to see how it would be perceived, but I've actually gotten a lot of great feedback on it, so I'm really excited about
That's
that.
awesome.
And it's all in fun. So, but also spreading awareness, like you said. So, definitely come check it out and join me at the auction if you want to get one of your names on the buildings. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Tanzer.
Yeah, and that's also a good
Oculus, I just
example
want
of
to
a
do
world where he took stuff out of his previous world and brought it into the homeless hub. So those cardboard boxes came from the Home Ed's moving company. There were cardboard boxes that were
wow.
created, and then even the moving truck is in that world that now kind of circles the block and mows you down if you happen to be in your menu standing in the middle of the street. So stay out of the street.
That's me.
The homeless hub, exactly.
I'm
And
literally
also we got
yeah.
a tow truck cruising around.
I will literally stand in my menu for an hour. This is no joke. And people will just walk up to me and they'll interact, they'll push me around, they'll push me off edges. Gosh. It's hard
Yeah.
to be me.
Even with the
Just
personal
kidding.
boundaries off, they still kind of nudge you around. It's weird.
Oculus, I did want to do a quick time check. I know you have some time limits here. How much time do we got? Like 20
We
minutes?
got another like 10 minutes, 10, 15
Okay,
minutes,
cool.
and then you can kind of just take over if anybody has additional questions, and I'll pop back in.
Oh,
It's
fantastic.
only a half an
Sweet.
hour break. So appreciate the time check. We got Juju Payne out there, Solar Storm,
Welcome,
Mavic, See Me
welcome. See
Bro.
me, bro.
Appreciate
Woo.
y'all. If you
Yeah.
don't know, this stage is for if you have any questions, hop up to the mic. If you have comments you want to share, whether it's related to what we're talking about or you just want to get something off your chest about Horizon or otherwise, feel free. Mavix never passes up an opportunity, tells me what's on his mind. Mavix, what's happening?
Am I supposed to get the pop-up thing? Can everybody hear me? Okay.
You're
Hi.
live.
Yeah, we
Yep.
can hear you. Talk to us, Mavix.
Well, yesterday and today I was having some issues. We had the event. I love this now because every week I can come here and make the complaints about the event.
Oh, this time
Anyways,
is a test.
yeah. Yesterday at the event we have different instance, the same thing capacity, but the
Mhm.
first instance wasn't full, right? Which was the event instance, and then a few people went to the world instance. Sure, fine. I
Yep.
just teleport that, party up with everybody, bring them, but I couldn't find the second instance, and I tried teleporting almost a whole hour trying teleporting, and people from the second instance trying to teleport to the event. It didn't work. And today, Les Girl and I are trying to meet up, but she goes to craft the party, and I go to craft the party, but we're in different instance. The world is empty. We don't know what's happening.
That sounds like
So we just
a
had that.
update. Yeah.
Yep. So we just had that this morning. Instead of telling you you're unable to travel, it's now sending you anyway. You're going to join on somebody, and you just go to an instance that's not theirs. Which actually
Mhm.
there was an update today. So between you and Last Girl, make sure you both updated. But the other
Yeah.
half of it is event spaces and world instances are still kind of a blur. There are two videos out there right now. One being the meta
One by
one that we did
Jolene.
on events, and one by
Yep.
Jolene Sugarbaker, which is explaining the
Woo.
difference between event spaces and world instances. Off the record, which live stream right in front of my face.
Ah.
I've created an event with a door to the world instance, so that way people who are joining through the event join the world, and then people who are joining the world don't get missed. So I mean, that's my recommendation right now until
Yeah.
things change. I'd hate to have an event where I'm trying to provide a service or help or support or even just a hangout and people don't understand how to get there. So the remedy for that for now is create an event with a door. That way when people show up, there's a door to get to your world and everybody gets to join and hang out together.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a really good idea. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank
And I
you,
have to pass
Mavix.
that on to someone else who gave that idea to me. I joined their event and I fell on a door and I was teleported. And I'm like, well, that's cool. And I don't want to throw people into doors, so I'd rather them just have the option to click it. So if you have an event space,
What is
you're
great
having
though is when
troubles.
you show up at the event and two people have been there for 15 minutes talking and they haven't clicked the button on the door. That's the best.
Oh yes, that's fantastic. I actually did that with the event for Latin Night. There were people just hanging
Mm.
out in the event door world, and I'm like, "Are y'all heading into the world?" And they're like, "Yeah, we'll be there in a minute." Okay, feel free to throw some hours onto my hub door, but it's whatever. Why is that upside down? That's some
Oh, I
magic.
did this thing. It's a cool trick where you throw it and then it flips.
Oh,
Almost,
yeah, that's good.
almost. Yeah, I'm a cup flipper
Yeah,
and
this is an
Horizon.
old school. Do you remember this one? Are you ready?
Oh, yeah, I love that one. That's
No,
one of
that's
my
the
favorite.
old school. Yeah, if you have instant return on your items, you may want to put a delay. Otherwise, when it stops, countdown
We
is ready
fixed
to
that.
return.
The Essentials bundle
Keeps
has
the
fixed
momentum.
that. Yeah,
Of course it
it's
did.
been fixed in the
So,
latest version. This is an old school one.
hey, last girl, we
But
were just talking about you. Look at them two on the same couch in
Found
the
her.
same instance in the same game.
Hey,
That's
welcome.
exactly what we want.
Yeah, I
So
needed
it's
to
all right,
last girl,
update
Oculus.
welcome.
Horizon Worlds. That's
Sorry.
why. Thank you.
Can we move back to? I mean, if it's okay, I'd like to talk about the
Go ahead.
future of Horizon. I
Oh
think there's a
goodness, the
lot of.
future.
Oh my gosh! Well, it's the future is now. This is the first message: is future is now, because in the last 6 months we have had 2 years worth of updates, and I'm going to keep saying that because it's mind blowing. It is very stressful for someone who's trying to keep up to date, and I can't. So I feel exactly like every other new creator right now, because there's so many new features and I don't know what they all do. I don't know how to use them, and I'm like trying really hard to figure them out. So right there with you guys. And it's exciting, but it's nerve wracking. And one of my favorite new features, I think, is really the one that's going to change Horizon forever. And I encourage you to start playing with it. So I created this new tool we were briefly talking about. It's called the Vidyuu Asset
Where's
Wand.
this
There's a
streaming?
beta world. You can go check it out. And what it allows you to do is place down assets. And you can load as many assets into this. You could even load multiple sets of assets. So you could have like Oculus, all of Oculus's assets, all of Lakes' assets, all of the Vidyuu Essentials assets, See Bros assets, Tanzer's assets, Last Girl's assets, Mappy's assets, Solar assets. All of your assets could be loaded into this wand, and then you could place them in your world. You could start with an empty world and build your own little like universe so that your world could be a blank grid, and the entire game of your world is having an asset wand and being able to place down different people's assets and build the world. In fact, we actually have had multiple hours of fun in the demo world, which only has 6 assets loaded
Mhm.
into the wand. And so like the ability to load assets into a world is mind-boggling, because you now have 3,000 objects to use. They don't always have to be the same 3,000 objects. So say for instance we have these plants on stage, and every time this world loads we could choose a random plant to put on stage. So it could be one of 10 different random plants. So every time you show up at Horizon Live, it could be a different couch, it could be a different plant, it could be different clouds, it could be different, etc., etc., etc. And every time you load in, it just says choose random asset from list and load that asset at such and such position. Mind boggling. And so like super excited about that as just kind of a, how do we make our worlds more interesting and more engaging from experience to experience. But it goes much further than that. And so one of the things that Oculus is very scared of, and the reason I really wanted to talk about this today, is because we haven't seen people
Here we
really
go.
abusing this feature, and I want to abuse this
Yet.
feature. I've been trying.
He will.
I will. I
He
will.
will.
Because imagine you are someone like Sherazad or John McClay or Murcott 27 or Tanzer VR, who does some absolutely incredible design work, and it's like 50% object capacity on one object. Yikes, right? Like your world's gone. But now, when you make a story, perhaps they start in one world where there's maybe 30% object capacity on one asset. And as they continue around the corner, you block that room off so they can't go back into it, unload that asset. Now you've got that 30% object capacity, and you can load in another asset. And suddenly you have 10,000 or even unlimited percent object capacity. It's just mind-bogglingly huge, like the it's limitless. And that's the part that's got me most excited here. So we were talking about how if you wanted to maybe do a scene, you could have one scene that happens in a room, have them travel into a black box, unload the previous scene, load in a new scene after they get through the what are we calling that, the it's a video game term, a cutscene. Basically, once they get through that
Cutscenes,
cutscene
yeah.
in the black box, then they go back to the next scene, and suddenly you can keep them rolling. And if you do like creative placement of walls, you could even have things just hidden behind walls that load in as they hit certain triggers. I mean, I'm really excited, and I'd love to see you all to try and abuse this feature with me and see how far we can push it. Because theoretically it's unlimited, but I'm sure there is a limit. We did actually, I guess we have kind of hit the limit with the asset wand, because when you try to reset the asset wand world, it does crash you to your personal space. At least that was true a week ago. We haven't tried it since the latest updates. But so yeah, we got to figure out that stability fix and report that bug. I actually already did, so. But yeah,
Well,
feel
good.
free to
So I
come
know
up
that was a
stage, talk about
lot.
what you guys want. Oh yeah, go.
Yeah, I know that was a lot. So to kind of break it down, so let's say this coffee mug is the first area that you spawn into. So you get to the end of this coffee mug, and now this is your next area. So this next area, when you get to the edge of this coffee mug, loads in, but you wouldn't know it because there's something blocking the way, whether it's just a curtain or a wall that moves out of the way or a door that opens. So now you have this new world loaded in. Once you're into this new world, something closes behind you, takes your mind off of what's behind you, and then boom, that's no longer even in the world. So now you have this as your current play area with all of the things that have been spawned in using that asset spawning feature. And then the same thing happens. You get to the end of that space, and that cutscene or that distraction will, if you'll entertain a little lack of a explanation, and you'll get to this, and now the next part of the stage loads up, and this spawns away. So it's really powerful because rather than having just that capacity constraint of the 3,000 total objects, you can cut that in half and make 2 sections at a time, and you're now loading in more and more and more of that world without having to really restrict your creativity, other than now the restriction of high five, yeah, sure,
That
and
wasn't a high
the
five.
restriction
But
of I know
I
it
was gonna
wasn't,
say before we have
the
Tanzer come
restriction
up,
of the
just to
title.
like continue that. Who was it who did the world where you travel through the Endless Valley? Was that Miles? Miles did that one, right? And in the Endless Valley, there's a cutscene basically where you go to this waterfall. There's where you buy your upgrades, and you could imagine if he had had access to this asset feature, each room, because there's these rooms that you fight the battles and you make it to the end, and they're currently randomly generated. But he could have done that where each room loads in. You go to that cutscene room,
Right.
and then the next one loads in, etc. Tanzer.
So before you, Tanzer, real quick, one thing that I'm curious about
I'm sorry.
your feedback.
No, no.
So in that instance, no, don't leave. In that instance where it's an endless walk,
Yeah.
are there concerns when you get past so far beyond that
Yes.
5,000 meters of
Yes.
000? Explain that.
Yes.
I'm actually going to have you bring Tanzer on stage if you wouldn't mind, and then take over
Yeah,
for the
absolutely.
next half hour. Would you mind, Tanzer?
What do I do?
What the?
I press.
He knows what he's doing.
I don't know what I'm doing. How dare you say I know what I'm doing?
As I say, he knows what he's doing. He sends himself off stage. So
I don't know what
I'll be
I'm
back,
doing.
y'all. Lex is going to take over.
All right. Oh my gosh. Welcome, Tanzer. Welcome.
Hello.
Oh my gosh.
So
So
I
what he was
the
saying
i-
though is that if you go past 100 meters or so, your menus start flickering. So in one world where we were doing this endless walk, we made them walk in a circle, but they didn't know they were walking in a circle. So just be careful how far you walk people in your world, because menus and things start to flicker. And that's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this spawning feature, and
Mhm,
had some couple
mhm.
of ideas for it. I mean, people that make puzzle worlds, this is great. Escape rooms, this is great. But a world that I worked on with Homed is Homed's got the Haunting of Eleanor, which is a haunted house world, and I helped build a lot of the space, and he scripted everything, and we were limited on capacity, so we could only have like a few hallways and like 4 rooms. And the great
Mhm.
thing about that is now is we can even add on to that haunted house and continue the story and make it longer and longer. And the trick with this type of situation is like if you're deleting something, now if I move on and somebody else comes into the world, now that's deleted for them, and that doesn't work if because I'm deleting those worlds, those rooms, to continue more rooms ahead of myself and deleting the
You
ones
wanna know how to
behind
fix
me.
that?
Well, we have in ours, which is
Yeah.
what you probably would need in this situation, is a
Mhm.
there's a door, there's a pop-up that says this session is currently occupied in order to
Mhm.
enter the haunted house. And so you either have to start a new session or wait till that session ends before you can now enter the haunted house. So we basically made it a private session experience, so that way only the people in that particular session can move forward. That way now we can delete those first couple rooms as we add in the third room, fourth room. Then when you get
That
in the
is
third
one
and fourth
option.
room, delete those and whatnot. Well, I'd love to hear yours. You got all the cool ideas.
What would lakes do? Oh my gosh. So
Yeah, right.
the thing that I think is really exciting is that you can have that option. I think is really solid, and that's what I would definitely recommend to anybody creating an experience that is a story, is make sure that once the story begins, you put up a sign that says this session is in progress. If you want to continue from the very beginning, please visit this world, start a new session, explain how to open a new session. And that is a great method for a story-based world. But oftentimes my mom is running late to the party, and she's like, we're halfway in, and she still wants to play with us. So what I would encourage is having a button that people press that teleports them to the location of the party. And an easy way to do this is when the party starts, just attach a spawn gizmo to them.
Oh, wow.
Like make an
Okay.
attachable object and put a spawn gizmo on them.
Like,
The
who
problem
thinks
with
of
that is that I do. The problem is if they leave, you need to choose a different person from that party to attach the gizmo. So when world is exited, choose new person from list and then attach. It's relatively complex for sure, but it's a lot
Scripter
easier
brain.
than you might think. You know.
Builder brain, scripter brain.
Yeah. Feel free to come up on stage if you have any thoughts, questions. We're currently talking about asset spawning, infinite capacity, and that sort of thing. So if you have any thoughts, questions, feel free to come up here, or we can talk about anything else too. And maybe
I
it's
did
great to
see
have you in the live stream.
I did see something posted recently, and I haven't seen it yet, so it could be one of those things that's rolling out slowly to people.
Mhm.
But maybe you know a little bit more about it. Is this new inventory system? So now, when you open up your menu, there's
Oh,
an
yeah.
inventory, and I think there's going to be an ability that when I visit a world, let's say it was this world, if there was something that could be a free asset or a paid asset in that world, it will list them in that inventory when I visit the world, and then you can, I guess, click on it and then add it to your own personal inventory, either for free or by paying. I haven't played with it because I haven't seen it, but is that accurate, or have you heard anything about that?
I believe there was an announcement about it. So my understanding of what's going on here is if you enter a world by See Me Bro, for instance, I know he's got a couple worlds in that purchasing program. You now can buy assets from See Me Bro. So say for instance he sells something like a bag of popcorn in his world. You could theoretically go into your inventory, pull out the bag of popcorn, throw it on stage, maybe buy a couple
Yeah, the
tomatoes. You're
consumable
chucking the
stuff that you
tomatoes.
bought, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's my understanding of it. I haven't touched it, played with it. I'm not actually in that program, so I don't know anything. But that's my understanding from what I've heard and read. But
Okay.
it sounds pretty
I
cool.
guess this thing is something
yeah.
new where it looks like not only can you, from consumables that you've purchased previously from the in-world purchase thing, but something where like the owner of that world could kind of put all of the items in the world in a list that basically then it pops in that little, when you pull up the world menu, when you're in that world, it will be there. And I think from that menu, you could even grab those things versus going up to the in-world gizmo, from what it looks like, from what I've seen people post
Interesting.
in the community pages. But I haven't been able to play with it. I'm like kind of excited to like get my hands on that because I love, I got assets and I want to figure out how I can utilize them.
Yeah.
So you're saying that whatever assets you buy in my world, you can bring into any world?
Oh no.
No.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's like in your world. So I was saying See Me Bro because I know he's got the what's the name of that world he does? The one with the mustache guy. Mustache guy.
Mustache guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know that
Steve
one.
Harvey. MetaView? Am I
Family
hearing
Feud.
Family
Feud.
Feud.
Mustache
Thank you.
guy.
Oh my
Mustache
God.
guy.
Mustache guy,
Mustache
Family
Steve Harvey.
Feud.
Mustache
Yo,
guy.
shout out to Steve Harvey. Shout out to Steve Harvey.
Yeah,
Steve
shout out to
Harvey.
Steve Harvey. Woo.
That was so
Oh
good.
man. Yeah, so the reason I was shouting that
Steve
out
Harvey,
is
come on
because
out.
it's got an audience, and when you're in the audience, sometimes you want to engage. So you could imagine being at his world and buying a bunch of like engageable items that you could now interact with the people on stage. You could even imagine other game shows where there might be a way you could buy a consumable that causes a bad effect on the stage. It's like, oh no, your time's been decreased by half or something. I think there's a lot of possible
Trolls.
options there. Yeah, you could totally troll the
Okay.
stage.
That's awesome.
But yeah, unfortunately, not taking it from world to world. So if you open your menu, you can see there's an inventory, and it says you don't have any items yet. Purchase items to make your world visits even more fun. Actually, that doesn't explain it at all. I take it back. That is completely confusing. Never mind.
Yeah, Lester is asking if you guys think that in the future that will be possible to bring assets from one world to a different world.
I think so.
I'm
hoping
scared. I would love for
so.
okay, wait.
Backpack.
As a builder, absolutely. You want to make your own clothing. You want to make your own
Yeah.
beards, whatever.
You could
you
pull
want
out
to
a
have
hat. You could pull out sunglasses. You
Exactly.
could pull out a lighter and light a
100%
lady's cigarette.
building. Absolutely amazing. The problem becomes the lighter. Okay. Look, if you build a lighter, that means it has to have a script on it. And let me tell you, if I can write a script, you don't want to see what I can do. Like, I mean, it would, that's why I'm scared, because I know what I can do, and I could just destroy someone's world if I had the ability to bring just a lighter with me. So
Yeah.
I'd burn the whole world down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't give a man a lighter.
All right.
So
We're not doing ladders then.
So I do have a little bit of fear around that because I could imagine some malicious person showing up here with their lighter that runs a script that causes everybody to get thrown 100 meters in the air or thrown 100 meters below the world. And
I see.
I could write that script in 10 minutes. I mean, it would be very
Yeah.
easy. So I'm a little bit afraid of that. I think if it was just,
Jetpacks.
spawnable grabbables like a hat, that's awesome.
Jetpack, a hoverboard.
Yeah, makes sense.
Watch out what I do with those.
Makes sense.
But on the other hand, there's a lot of really good things that you can do. So I think we can often be very pessimistic unintentionally, and so, we want to watch out for some malicious actors because we've had them. They've come up on stage and done crazy things to us while we're doing things like this. But there's also the positive side of it where it's like, hey, I want to film this really cool short film. Maybe it takes place in the plaza, but I want to get this really cool drone shot. It would be so cool if I could bring my hoverboard or other and now fly up into the sky, get my really nice cool shot.
Oh yeah.
And like that would be an impossible shot in the plaza or any other world for that matter. And the ability to bring in some camera tools or other stuff like that would be really, really powerful and
You're
awesome.
getting me
So
excited
it's like
now. Like they better.
I
Come out
do
with this
want
because
that.
This sounds so fun.
Like I do want that, but I'm also afraid of the potential for bad assets. So
That's true.
not sure how that
Yeah,
ends
that
up
makes
working.
sense.
Bad assets would be bad. I can imagine now.
Yeah,
what those
gotta
could
watch
be.
out for the bad assets.
Okay. I'm gonna go.
Oh man.
Yeah, if you can stay here, it's fine.
Yeah, you can come on up stage.
Yeah, I couldn't hear the question.
Sorry, we can't hear you right now.
We're just discussing the thing.
Yeah, we're discussing something. Sorry.
I thought it wasn't party only.
Oh, you're good, you're good. Yeah, feel free. Anybody who wants to come on up, you are more than welcome. Yes, Blackhatter, welcome.
And he's wearing a black hat.
Oh,
Go to the red.
interesting.
There you go. Perfect.
There we go. I'm new. I've only been here a little while. Actually, I'm being very modest of myself. I'm pretty damn good at scripting. It took me 4 weeks. I love what I'm doing now. I had really good inspirations, like the man that's sitting in the crowd behind me, and also, I also have him on my friends list, so it must be something good as well. With Simo as well, but like Simo see my drone, which I perfected, mind you, that used to attack him. But I was thinking about that, and I was like, that drone was horrible. Anyway, but I understand what you're saying. I was gonna say from all the stuff I've been learning for, the last, I want to say a couple of months, I got so good that if somebody asks me to do something, I'm able to actually write the script pretty well. And like you said, sometimes there's the bad side and good side of things. And I felt like, do you think it's, and here's my question, do you think it's a good idea for, let's say, creators that make stuff, kind of like Sandwich? Usually Sandwich, when he writes the script, his name is in there, unless he authorizes you to have it, and then, or if you know how to take it off. I thought about that as well because I built a motorcycle. I have some buildings and assets that I built that I get nervous if somehow, and I don't keep a lot of editors with me. It's usually testers. That if somebody took, your theme or went in and took your asset, how would you know what I mean? Or let's say if I had an editor that took it and gave it to somebody else, what if I put a small symbol or something inside that to know it's mine? When I go to their world, the script activates on me. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So do you think that's something kind of like a copyright protection in a sense?
Yeah, I think right now it's worth pointing out that when you publish anything in Horizon, you've given up all really rights of
All your
ownership
rights.
like you kind of I do think it's something that the
You still
Horizon
have a
team is actively
copyright, but
thinking
yeah.
on. Yeah. But it's like, Meta can do whatever they want with it.
Well,
Right.
it's
But
weird
I
because
think
outside
have a
you'll get in
license to
trouble for
everything.
stuff.
But I
Like if I
think
make a
the thing that's
McDonald's, I'll
important-
get sued. But if I make something that's called Black Donald's, I just have to take my name, put Donald's on it, whatever. They can take it and say that sounds good. Let's make MetaDonald's. Which I understand. Everybody can build what you want, but I'm just saying the stealing of assets because I've been seeing that lately.
I
I'm
think
not
it's
going
something
to
that's being
mention any
actively
names,
thought
but
about, but I don't think it's going to
I've been-
happen anytime soon. I think this is like,
Okay.
if we look at the asset progression, so you think about where was assets before the asset library launched? Well, the first stage of this was importing worlds. The second stage was we got access to pull assets out. Okay, cool. Now there's this like secondary function now, but they're not our assets. They're just some, whatever Meta made. And
Right.
now we have the ability to make our own assets. So that's kind of like our third state. At some point, we have to be able to share. And I don't think sharing is as easy as it sounds. Like the ability for me to just right here and now pass you some of my assets, I would love to be able to do that. But I think the problems that you start looking at are who created the original asset? How do you know if somebody created the original asset and then remixed it? Is there ability to break it apart? Do they have the rights to break it apart? Is there royalties if you end up selling this asset when they eventually get to something like that?
Yeah.
I think all these things are really on the forefront of their mind. And if they try to tackle any of those, it's not like you can just say, now you can share an asset, but what is the cost of that? Because there's this concern about who owns it. If you're someone like myself, I'm like, just take it, go have fun with it. For me, I'm looking to just level up the community. You know, that's my entire goal.
Yeah.
But I totally recognize that some people here are trying to make a living selling their assets, and like that's definitely a method to make money.
And I'm
here.
between
you
both
could make
worlds on that. Yeah, like I'm like, see, I don't sell my assets. If somebody wants to build, I'd rather teach them what I've learned and take time with them. If they don't want to do that, they'll just pay me and my crew. I have two other people I work with. I don't know if you heard of HoloLens. He's a good friend of Danica, so I work under him. That's who I've been learning a lot of things from. And also a girl named Metaverse TikTok. She's a beautiful builder,
really
designer.
good too.
She's really good. So we're just a tight little team. That's it. So
I mean, the thing you can do now is, I mean, you can have a logo or you can put your name on something. But if somebody was to, like you said, you kind of keep your creator group small. Whoever you invite as collaborators, make sure you trust them, because now that you can, assetize things, they could very easily be in your world and just kind of save that as an
it's
asset.
mine.
It could end up
I did it
someplace
first.
else, and they could just take your logo right off of it. Something you could do, but it's kind of hard to prove or whatever, is you could take your name, you can shrink it really, really small, hide it somewhere in the asset that only you know where it is, that they'll probably never find. And then, if it becomes a thing where it's like, hey, this person's claiming that they made something and it's ending up all over the place and it's really something you created, I guess you could go to meta court and then say, let's all go into build mode. And you can go into that asset and be like, look, here it is. It's right here. So it's kind of like a watermark, right? That's the only thing I can really think about as a way to protect yourself until maybe a tool comes down the road that Meta,
I feel like that's going to happen.
The point of purchasing assets, that they kind of can tag that item as this is the initial creator. No matter where it goes, it'll still kind of like tag it to you initially. So, but we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, thank you. I just, my last thing I'll say, I really think that's coming, because now with the open inventory and worlds you go to, I guess when you purchase an item, it'll be put in there. I guess that's kind of a way of, later on, obviously when they perfect it, a way of trademarking your stuff in your world and saying, oh yeah, I got this from here. This is where I bought it from. So whatever. But yeah, thank you so much, you guys. I just had to get that out of my brain.
I just want to, I don't know. I think it's worth clarifying that the inventory, as far as we are aware, only is per world. And I don't know that it's the best term, right? Like, because it does sound like something you can take with you. I think it's kind of a little misnomer. I know the first time I heard about it, I was like, oh my gosh, we can start taking things between worlds. What? That's so crazy. Cool, and then I found out it had nothing to do with that. And I was like, then why do I see inventory in my personal space? And why is it here and there?
It's a tease.
Like, what's going on? It is a tease. It is.
So gets you excited, right?
Yep. So it is interesting. But I'd say be patient. This stuff takes so long. I mean, even if you hear something about somebody saying, yes, this is being created. I know a year ago, I heard somebody tell me that the asset library was going to be coming out soon. And it literally took a year till we finally got it. And so I stopped working on a bunch of stuff because, like we were talking about at the beginning of this talk, the idea of being able to go back and grab assets, it was impossible. I was designing stuff in one world and then another world, but I couldn't get it out of there. The world wasn't clean. And so I was waiting for that new asset feature for months and months and months. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to finally go and rebuild this. And yeah, I mean, it's worth rebuilding. It's 10 to 20 minutes of your time sometimes in that case. But now it's like, now you don't have to. So I guess what I'm saying is don't stop doing whatever you're doing because you're expecting somebody to come around. And I think what your advice is, make sure you trust in the people that you're working with. And the other thing you can do that I think is really good advice is if you're going to work with somebody and they don't need to be a part of the main world, put them in a small empty world, we have a dungeon that we were working on. We've kind of put it on hold for a little bit as we ran over budget. We just literally ran out of money. I hate to say that, but it's true. But we were working on this dungeon world, and the had two separate main worlds that we were working on, and then all the design was happening in separate worlds, and then we were taking those as assets, bringing them into the main world. And the nice thing about that is we didn't have to worry about the world getting dirty. Like if somebody pulled out an asset that accidentally caused space junk, which is a theoretical, I don't know if I actually believe in that,
by touching it.
Yep. There's lots of ways that things can get messed up. So
yeah,
I really encourage the empty world approach if you're working with somebody, and you can also sign contracts if you need to. I don't know that's necessary.
Just have them build the assets in another world, and then you pull them in, and then you place them where they need to go, and do it that way.
Yeah, the world is definitely Horizon World is definitely changing very fast. So stay tuned to what's coming for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
I don't know if I have anything else. There's so much going on, but happy to answer any questions. We also have a few people in the live stream, so I'm going to quickly take a peek and see if you guys have any questions. Feel free to comment those. I see Mavix commented, yo. So yo back, Mavix. Anybody else? You're welcome to comment in the comments there. We'll see that and we can answer it over here on the live stream. And if you want to join us in person, we are at Horizon Live. You can search this up in the Worlds tab and you'll find us here right now. And so we'll see you here. And anybody else in the audience, you're welcome to come on stage and ask any questions you have. Happy to take those.
I'll call you right
Yeah.
I had another question. All right. I wanted to say, what is your thoughts? I'm sitting here at work eating sushi on Horizon. Imagine.
Right?
Look at that. It's star-bought sushi. It's horrible. But what do you guys think about and I know you probably endured this already and played with it. It was my first time to create the VIP script on the security panel and actually let it spawn assets. So now I can delete the whole world and press number 2 and it'll spawn in my other asset world and then delete that. So I'm trying to do a Doctor Who type of thing, which will be really fun. Kind of invisible walls, and you walk down into the the whole spaceship, and when you press the button you'll see the world below you disappear and spawn the next world. Oh wow. So I do have that coming out in the next probably like 2 to 3 weeks. But have you guys tried that yet? Is that something that you've
yeah.
I love it. It's amazing. Oh my goodness. It's like unlocking another level of the cranium in a sense of coding and stuff. I was so happy.
I love the cool idea about spawning in different environment cubes so you can have it be daytime and then nighttime. And I think some people are working on actually scripting it to do that automatically, like in sync with the actual time of that particular person's
super easy
clock. Yeah, super easy, says the scripter. I'm like, I don't have no idea how to do it.
Well, all you do is you go to the Video Essentials bundle, you take the 2 assets, and then you send an event at the exact time, and you're done. So it's literally that easy.
Boom.
Yeah.
I had to ask that question too. Thank you, guys. I'm in love with that thing, man. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Hey, gamer, welcome. Great to have you.
Somebody's got a clock too that's actually accurate, like it keeps the time no matter what time of day it is, and when you spawn in, it syncs up to your actual.
They have announced that, I believe. So there is a new feature coming. It's only been released to a small handful of creators that allows them to access the exact time of day. I don't think I have access to that. I would love to have access to that. Oh my gosh. Imagine being able to like say
you could look up at the clock on the wall in the world and be like, oh, it's such and such time without having to look at your wrist. That it just
But it goes so much further than that though. So like we were working on a world called Flower Picker a while ago, and I do intend to go back to it. Man, I work on a lot of projects that just don't get finished. Yeah, it's not intentional. It's just oops.
One day,
and so in Flower Picker, part of the problem was kind of determining what was the how do you play the game. And so I've kind of come to this idea that if I'm going back to Flower Picker, what I'd like to do is instead of it being a constant flower picking game, there is that time element. So when we get access to time, I'll be able to say, And previously in Horizon, what we do is every second we'd run a loop and we'd be like, okay, every second you generate a flower. But now it'll be when you walk up to that flower, it'll say you produced X number of flowers while you were gone, because it just checks the last time you were there and the current time. So that saves a lot of script capacity, because you're no longer running this loop on the server for every single flower times every single person. You're only just checking it one time when the person comes back. And then you could do that same thing when the person leaves the world and comes back by using a player persistent variable. When they return, you'll be like, oh, you've been gone for X number of days. You have gained X number of flowers. And then you go and buy your fertilizer and upgrade your flower. And then there's whatever upgrades and stuff. And I think that's going to be the future for that. And I'd like to kind of tie in some sort of story. But I think time is going to change the way we build Horizon Worlds, because it's going to allow us to be like, wow, you've been here for, you've been a member of our society for X number of days. And you could imagine, I know See Me Bro's left now, but he's got some charts in his world, and I've seen some in some other people's worlds here that have, their supporters. And it's like, rather than your supporters necessarily being just like a number one on the leaderboard, it's like, how long has that person been a supporter? It'd be like X number of days they've been a supporter, right? And so suddenly there's like some ordering to the leaderboard, which would be kind of cool. I think there's just lots of potential with it.
It'd be a cool idea if you didn't go back to that world. Your garden dies. Like you have to go back and water it.
Yeah, if you don't come back,
if you don't go back, like you go back in like 5 days, 6 days, you didn't water it, and everything's dead.
That's a really good idea. I love that.
Right? Keeps people coming back over and over again. Like you give them little plots, and everybody has to take care of their plot. And we'll see if they take care of them.
I'm going to check the live stream for some comments and questions. Feel free to come up on stage and line up here if you have anything you want to say or any ideas you have. Lando, welcome. Great to have you. Thanks for joining us in the live stream. And you guys if you're in the live stream, you're welcome to join us in person at Horizon Live. That's the name of the world. So yeah, great to have you guys. And feel free to line up and ask questions as well. But yeah, oh my goodness, timing, dead flowers. You're like, I'm just thinking, you go 2 days without watering and then it just stops, and like you come back and all your flowers have died, and your customers, you lose all your customers.
Where you had to do that. I played games on my phone like all the time. I think it was like Smurfs Village or something like that. Like I would play it all the time. My wife would be so mad, like, are you playing that Smurf game again? I'm like, yeah, I gotta like go water my, like if you don't take care of your stuff, it dies, and you have to harvest your crops so that you can get more,
Can you imagine if you had like customers who were like, I'll be back in 2 hours, and you actually had to come back in 2 hours for that customer?
I don't want to do that.
It'd be so funny though.
It would be.
It's like, I've been waiting here for 4 days. Where have you been?
Oops, sorry.
I demand a refund.
Sorry, customer. Talk to customer service.
You got a little cart on the side of the road. You're like, talk to customer service. Got a dog out back. Go to the dog house.
They go to find customer service, and you're like, spawn out. I'm not here.
These poor little AI characters. They're gonna be like, what's going on?
Yeah,
that's so funny. That's actually another thing I'm really excited about that I'm going to be working on at some point. Oh my gosh. So someone has already done this. So first of all, this is not a new thing. This has been possible for a long time. Wafflecopters built Whatever Words is the best example of this. And Whatever Words was built after he built this kind of like art thing. Basically what would happen is you would be given a prompt and you'd have to build this little art thing. And he was like, wow, this is really cool. I wonder what I can do with this. So he built this Adlib generator for Whatever Words. And so in Whatever Words, you fill out the blanks, and it's fun. It's a ton of fun. Highly encourage it. It's a lot like Cards Against Humanity. You'll have a great time there. Check out Whatever Words. But what's so cool is it's all randomly generated because of the ad-libbing. And so all of the different things for the prompt are generated randomly and put together. And so I've been thinking, how can we take that a step further and generate stories that are, built via these ad libs? So a customer shows up and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm running late because of my dog's birthday party, and like its dog is just one parameter that could have been girl or daughter or son or mother or whatever. Like could have just chose any other. And you're like, dog birthday party, that's hysterical. But birthday party could also be a whole array of events, and then there's a bunch of different prompts that it can choose from to fill out. So super excited. Bye.
I feel like a
Great
dog
to have
birthday party
you.
is not that uncommon. I think that that's probably something a lot of people have like all the time.
I
People love their
can't
dogs.
imagine having a dog birthday party. Oh, I guess I have cats, so that's part of my problem. Is like our cats, we just we give them a treat and say happy birthday. I know you don't remember
wife-
this, but today's
My wife buys the animals every Valentine's Day,
Oh,
their
gosh.
birthdays, Christmas. They're getting something too. So I don't.
Oh, you could actually
But-
save people's birthdays and celebrate their birthdays in Horizon Worlds with the time feature. Oh,
Oh,
like it's
yeah,
gonna
there you go.
change a lot. Oh
I
my
need that
goodness.
reminder. I never keep track of anything.
Sign up in my world.
not my
When you
job.
return on your birthday, you get the special birthday crown.
There you go.
The asset spawns and
Nice.
attaches to the player. Everybody
There you
types in
go.
their birthday as today. Look, it's my birthday. But it saves it forever, like like the like your McDonald's app, right? So you can't change it. They're like, "Yep,
Yeah.
this will always be your birthday. Come back in a year." Yeah, good
Yeah.
stuff.
Unless you're Elastic
If you guys-
Plastic, then it's your birthday every day.
Oh gosh, yes, Elastic Plastic will have his name specially programmed in. Feel free to come on stage, ask questions. We are.
Who do we have here?
going
We
to
have a special guest.
Oh, it's Kao-chan too. Oh my gosh, where's her belly? Did the baby come out? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. She's like, what? No. That's my
like,
wife, by the way.
Actually,
Come up to the microphone. Show yourself. Gamers in the comments. Free assets for sale, he says. Oh, that's your username? Your username is free assets for sale? Oh, I'm dead.
for sale.
Like,
I love that.
for sale.
For
free
sale.
assets. For
Free
sale.
for sale.
I changed it
Okay.
about halfway through the comments.
Oh my goodness.
So how much are those free assets?
Pretty much all my assets are free. I'm not charging for
Okay.
any of my assets.
Okay. So what else is new in Horizon? What else have you are you eating something? You choking? Are you okay?
Do you need help?
Sorry guys, my drift is crazy right now. I keep sliding across this stage.
It was a really big piece of broccoli.
Okay. I suggest chewing.
I'm trying, but it was so much bigger than my mouth could handle.
Lord Jules, make sure you unmute yourself.
Welcome.
Welcome. And broccoli
guys
break,
doing?
but we're back.
No, it's cool. It's cool. No, but after hearing about, I'm just curious if any, how many, if you guys are experiencing the drift with the controllers. Is it an issue with on our Horizon, or is it the Oculus? Is it the actual
Controllers
controller, like,
usually.
It's the controllers, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
I've
two-
experienced it
yeah.
multiple times. Like when you start feeling the drift, and I actually noticed it like earlier today. Your buttons, you'll try to grab something, and I kept duplicating everything that I was grabbing because the joystick will get stuck
It's
on
extra- it's
duplicate, even
extra
though I'm trying
sensitive.
to paint. And then now I'm noticing the drift. I didn't notice it before I came to live here today. But so what you do is you go get some contact cleaner. You can order it online or whatnot, but make sure it's not like WD-40. That's not what you want to use, but actual contact cleaner, electrical component contact cleaner. WD-40 does make one. That's the one that I have. Just make sure that when you go to grab your cleaner that you don't grab the WD-40 because that would be bad. And then you just kind of like spray it in and around the joystick, around the buttons, and then make sure you just rock that, back and forth, hit the button a bunch of times. Make sure you take your batteries out before you spray that into these areas so that they can dry properly before you put the batteries back in. But usually that'll clear it up. I hear some people though, like maybe don't do it like so often, just when it starts to happen. Some people, I think the glue in their controller started to like break down from the contact cleaner over time, and then their joysticks start to fall apart. But I haven't had that issue yet, and I've cleaned mine about 3 times so far since I've been on here.
And another question is, so like I guess like replacement, like controller replacement. What do you guys recommend on I guess like for example, like when I've done some research on trying to, because everyone's I know a few people that's experiencing like I have one friend that just keeps spinning around, just all the time because
Yeah.
so she needs a replacement controller on for the right com- a right
I would.
replacement controller, if that makes sense, right? So I looked online, of course, on the Meta website, right, the Oculus website, and obviously they've
Yeah.
been sold out for where I've heard for like months. So
Yeah.
the
I
only
would
way you
try the
can
contact
buy
cleaner
one's from
first.
Amazon.
Yeah, I mean the
Right.
contact cleaner is going to be your first choice. I mean that's much more affordable. Try that, see if that fixes the
Mm-hmm.
issue. If that fixes the issue, you're good to go, and she won't have that problem anymore. If that's still the
Right.
problem, I don't know.
Y-
You may at this point the cost of these new controllers is getting to the point where you
Right.
may need to get a new
Get a
headset
whole new. Right.
and a
Right.
whole new system and do
So
that.
right.
Um,
Because on Amazon it's like basically like $200 for just one controller. So yeah, you might as well just get
What?
the whole
that's
headset. Yeah.
crazy. I know
That's
it's
hmm
really
crazy.
expensive.
And then the regular price for the for the controllers is like 60, like $70 basically.
Yeah.
But they uprising the upcharging the price on in Amazon. But that's why I'm
Yeah.
asking. Like, do you guys know like any websites that you may recommend or anything like, or
Not
I don't have
myself. I'm
anything.
not really sure. A place
okay?
that you could get them on the cheap. You might look and see if somebody's selling them online, offer up or let go or whatever. But I would be careful because they're probably broken ones that they're
Broken,
having
If
the
you
same
haven't
right?
tried the
issue.
electrical contact cleaner,
Yeah.
that electrical contact cleaner is fabulous. I mean, my controllers have been drifting for over a year, and every time I do
Not
it,
mine
I'm
this
good for
bad.
usually about a month.
Nuts.
So
Okay,
Good
cool,
job.
cool.
yeah, it
All
usually
right,
does
cool,
pretty
cool.
well. Sometimes I'll have a few bad weeks, but I haven't replaced my controllers. I'm actually just hoping
Mhm.
for the Cambria controllers to be better whenever that comes out.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm just holding out myself until the new headsets, whenever those
Yeah.
do get announced. And yeah, the big thing I was gonna say though is I've found that the main reason I get drift is when I eat while I'm hanging out with people, so I get a little grease on my hands, and that's what's causing
Mhm.
my controller drift. So
The
I'm doing my
broccoli.
best not to eat. Yeah, my broccoli doesn't have any
Yeah.
grease. I should be okay.
Yeah, I noticed that because I like to dance a lot or move a lot, so when I'm
Mm,
dancing whatever, I
yep,
hold on,
yep.
I spin around a lot, so like
So
Oh
if
yeah.
you get
so I do a lot
if
of
you
this.
get that drift, just
My
pretend
fault, my
like it's a
fault.
move intentionally.
Right, I know, right. But now it's starting to get a little bit annoying. Like, I mean, like it's not bad, but I mean, I just it's to the point that it's noticeable now. So I'm
Oh
just
yeah.
trying to chill out on it,
Yeah.
or
Same. I'm gonna clean
till
mine
further
after the
notice.
show.
hmm But all right, I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, for
Thank
sure,
you.
Lord.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
What do we got in the comments on the YouTube? Oh, nobody, but you guys, if I see you're there, feel free to leave comments if you got questions, anything. We're just chilling, hanging out. And
Yeah.
great to have y'all here. You can join us in person at Horizon. Oh my gosh, is that actual drift? No, I must be. That's hysterical.
You probably
Horizon
have an
Live, right
invisible
there.
wall pushing me.
Wait.
Is there an invisible wall pushing me? Is that what's going
Maybe.
on? I hope not.
Like I just keep going and going to the right.
I'm like,
I
oh
thought
gosh.
maybe you had a bubble in your
Maybe it
bubble
was the
pushing me.
broccoli. Nope, I'm good. Okay. Wait, did we lose our cups? We totally lost our cups earlier.
The cup's probably pushing us. It's invisible.
The cup is pushing us. Here's one cup for you, sir.
Oh, nice. Oh,
And
oh, we did not make this
coffee
cushion
break.
non-collidable to objects.
Oh, oh no, there's a cup right here. This is that cup I just gave you. Yep.
Oh,
There it goes.
and
Nice.
it comes right back.
I really love the cup
Ooh,
flipping. That's
hey,
kind of
look
like
at that.
my favorite thing. Oh gosh. And that's why we lost our cup. That's the one thing I need to figure out a return script for. So I've got this really great return script. You've probably seen it. It's in the Essentials bundle. And the one problem is if you have a physics object and you hit it with another physics object, they don't
They
return.
launch.
And
Yeah.
I've been thinking about creating a loop, like a every 10-second loop. If not held, then return if distance from original position is. I should go do
Greater
that.
than whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Be careful when you come
thing.
up with these ideas. You'll start wanting to do it right this second.
I
Like,
do want to
need
do it right
this, like,
this
right now.
second.
It's in my brain.
It is. Like, why can't I just pull out a keyboard and fix my script real quick?
Right.
One
100%.
day.
I think Gamer's coming on up.
Welcome, gamer.
Gamer.
Of course, I have drift too, so I'm just
Oh, you're on teleport mode to. Oh, poor thing.
prevent sliding everywhere.
Maybe I should do that.
It's
Will
a
that-
I'm
widespread
also in
issue.
the
Can you fix that if
comments.
you're on teleport? Maybe I should do that.
I'm constantly watching comments.
Nice.
So if anyone has questions, feel free to answer.
You got a
If I
proxy
answer
here.
them too.
This is our first live stream on the Vidyuu Nights channel, actually. So welcome if you're watching on the Vidyuu Nights
Yeah.
channel. It's our first one ever. And super excited to see this grow. We're planning another live stream this Sunday. Oculus has got
Mhm.
something coming up. He hasn't told me anything, and I heard that he's keeping it a secret till the show starts.
Uh-oh.
And so I'm looking forward to that. And we're also planning to do, we're going to try something new. So we were talking about it, and this world is called Horizon Live. And we're like, we have the live streaming gear, we've got the channel. What would it be like if we left our little live streaming gear there, just 24/7, sitting on the couches, and people could just walk
If you
up to
want
the
to
couch.
come
All you do-
visit DJ Carlos, he'll be found at Horizon Live 24/7.
Yeah, I was thinking to just put some little text under the bottom that's constantly cycling. It says, go on stage whenever you want, host your own show, and it's just constantly streaming. And then if you want
Oh,
to watch
wow.
the comments,
That would
you
be
just
cool.
log into the stream like, Gamer is right now.
There you
And,
go.
you could
That's
host your own
interesting.
show. Yeah. It's an interesting idea. My only concern is people cussing, but right now we're not monetized
Yeah.
on Vidyuu Nights, so not really that worried. So
There you go.
don't take that as an initiative to start cussing on our channel, please.
Right.
Please. It's too funny.
So is there anything anyone is hoping for in Horizon, like a new feature or anything like that? I mean, we've had so many new updates lately. It seems like every time I come on, there's another update and new features rolling out. Me as a creator, it's like I haven't had chance to even play with some of these things because so many things keep coming out. It's like I still haven't played with that yet. You just giving me something new. I
too.
love it. But
Yep,
yeah, I'm
yep.
sure with scripting too. Like I can't even get into learning the scripting like these guys because as soon as I would learn something, they'd come up with something new and I wouldn't know what to do now. I'd be like, I'm just trying to catch up. Give me a minute. So
It is very overwhelming.
Lord Jules, you're muted.
I'm hoping that they come up with a feature where you can lay down and still have your perspective like upright, if that makes sense,
Yes.
because it gets to a point if you stand or even sit for long periods of time, it starts to get uncomfortable. So this time you just want to like lay down, but that's why you see, a
Keep
lot
your
of people
orientation
just,
up.
yeah.
I
That would
get
be so
that.
funny.
That's so true.
We're getting lazy.
Yeah.
I
We are getting
actually
lazy.
similar to that. I love that idea. I was wanting to, and I put it in the user voice, and that's a good place to put ideas like you have. There's a user voice channel where they, Meta actually looks at these things and people can vote them up, and then they take a look at the ones that have the most votes, and those are some of the things that they start to focus on to see what the community is really looking for as a whole. But we currently have, and gamers familiar with this, there's a type of trigger that orients the player if you're on teleport. So if you put it on a chair and you move your ring to the chair, it would turn your body, orient yourself to that seat. I would love to utilize that kind of function in that piece and make it where I could adjust the height of the player on that. So for all chairs and couches, when you move onto a couch, it would automatically lower your height like, a good foot. So it made it look like you actually sat down into a chair. Because sometimes you look at a chair, you build a couch or a chair, you build it way higher than it actually should be, and it looks weird. So then you make it too small and you're hovering above it and it doesn't look right, but the chair or couch looks right, but it doesn't look right to you standing there. I really think that would really be cool. It could be utilized in so many other ways. Like if you had a tunnel and you wanted the player to be able to like drop down and go down into a tunnel, you could put that trigger along that whole section where you wanted to reorient them. If you wanted to drop them
Mm-hmm.
into a hole or something like that, you can use it so many different ways. It just be depending on where that trigger was, and then when you left the trigger, it would reorient your height back to normal. It would
Mm-hmm.
save on object capacity because you don't have to build a false bottom and a hole
Right.
below the thing where you
Right.
have to like
Yes.
hollow
Yeah.
out
That's
a
what they
space.
usually do. Mm-hmm. Same thing for the
Yeah, so
bed
that
too. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so doing something like that would be really really cool, and I think you could utilize the functionality of what they already have in place, which is that snap to point that you put on couches. I would just
Hmm.
utilize it in other ways with height.
Hmm.
Yeah. Not bad
That's an
idea.
interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the user voice. It's only got
Thank you
one
guys.
vote, me.
Thank you.
No, it's good. I
I
got
need an invisible block right here next to me, just that holds me in place here. Oh, look who's back. We have
Is that-
I'm
another.
kind of digging every time I see Lakes just do this weird chair spin, but in real life, because in VR, it just looks like he's like, I'm going to go ahead and just sit in the corner.
I was looking at the live stream. Horizon Live with Oculus 410. Get that boy on the stage, please. How do I do this? How do I do this? And boop, boop. I
There
did
it
it.
is.
I did it. I did it. It didn't take me but
I
one
think
try.
it says press to stage, press to respawn, but I don't know. I always
You
get the
know,
B
who
and the A
reads these
mixed up.
things? Who reads these
I don't know.
things?
It's not a perfect script anyway. It does the job.
Oh, don't
So
say that.
y'all been having fun for the last half hour?
We have been. We've been talking about all sorts of stuff we shouldn't be talking about.
It's awesome. I see at least Tanzer dressed up for the show. You little business casual still, but that's
Blue
okay.
shirt guy.
Blue shirting it
Mhm,
up.
mhm.
Yep, there you go. Lord Jules, welcome. I saw you on the live stream while I was taking a break. Appreciate your questions and coming out. Shout out KO Chan up top. Appreciate you hanging out up there. Gamer, I don't know if you're debating on asking a question, going through some kind of crisis, or if you're asleep, but appreciate you hanging out just slightly off the side of the camera view. So what was the last thing y'all were talking about?
Talking about feature requests, new things that we were
Oh, yeah.
talking about how many new things have been added in the last couple weeks, and how it's just keeping up with
Sheesh.
it, and if anybody else had things that they've been wanting to have added and what that would be.
Also, we were talking about how Tanzer is the only one who voted for his user voice entry. So go vote for that. Link in the
Stop it
description.
right now.
Yeah.
What was your entry?
It's like on the last page of all the user voices. I don't think anybody ever gets to the last page. Probably because I only had like my one vote and I had made it like a long time ago. But I was just talking about lowering player height, creating a trigger that anytime you walked into it, it would automatically adjust your height lower. And then when you left the trigger, it would raise it. So if you wanted to sit down on these couches or chairs, it would actually make it look like you sat down. Or if you wanted to crawl through a tunnel, or just different use case scenarios where you want to lower the height, you wouldn't have to make a false bottom, use additional objects, non-collidable and collidable to create that.
Yeah, looking at y'all, if you had legs would kind of be super like skinny, and yours would be kind of more proportioned. So I don't know, maybe it's maybe calculating weirdly. I don't know. No matter what, I've seen people design legs. I've only seen a few worlds that actually had legs that look decent, but then they're
Imagine-
super long. So I think we're
Oh,
just
yeah.
way too high off of the ground.
It could
Imagine
also be
you
function.
sit on the couch and the legs appear in front of you.
That's what I was just gonna say. I was
Oh,
gonna
that
be
would
like,
amazing.
you can utilize that same trigger.
as you're
Then, as soon as
fidgeting.
you sat down, it would automatically orient you lower, but then move your legs into the sitting position, and it would just be for when you're sitting in furniture. That would be a cool way to, if we had legs, to
If we
utilize
had
First
that.
Horizon World problems. How we would address legs. We don't have them, but we're already creating problems as to what we would do if we did.
If we had them.
Pre-planning. I don't know. I mean,
right.
I know this is kind of a wasteful subject about legs, but I kind of think about like other platforms that have legs, and when they're walking, their legs kind of just slide on the ground, and they don't look like walking, and they look kind of creepy, like Nightmare Fuelish. So I don't really care about legs, to be honest.
I like
and to be clear, we're
attachables,
saying
so I'm
legs,
good
right?
without
Not
legs.
legs. I'm saying legs, not lakes.
Yeah, I don't need lakes attached to the bottom of me. No thanks.
I definitely don't want lakes following me everywhere I go. So
I'm already creeped out.
he may
I
have
don't want it
fainted.
either.
He's fainted.
I think
See
he's
me,
trying
bro,
I
to
would
found
like
this
legs.
really
legs.
weird thing. I didn't know this, but if you look down, I'm pushing forward and I go back. If I push backward, I go forward. Look
No,
at this.
that's not a thing
That-
for me. Now
It
you
is
just
a
got us
thing
looking
for
like
me. Look at
fools.
this. I'm doing it
I don't
backwards.
know.
I'm
Can y'all
serious. You
try
gotta
it
look
right
down,
now? Look at your ring, and does it change the orientation of forward and backwards?
but you have
I
to
don't
look
think it's
past it.
actually a
It's
thing.
like when you look
Past it.
in
So
the
go upside
opposite
down is what you're
direction.
saying.
He's doing.
You gotta go upside
He's
down.
probably
Yeah.
drinking.
Yeah. See me, bro. Feels it. He feels it. Yeah. He feels it.
See
Don't
me,
shake your
bro.
finger at
Down.
me.
Not
He-
down.
he
No,
takes
down.
placebos.
bro. Come on. Look
He
down.
takes
Look down.
placebos.
I'm pulling back. I'm pulling back right now. Pushing forward. Pulling back.
So
It's
it's
crazy.
the Microsoft Flight Simulator effect. You pull back to go up, and you push forward to go down.
It is. It's really weird. I'm tripping right now.
I like inverted
Like-
personally. Any inverted first person
No.
shooter people out there? Anybody like rolling
No.
inverted? That's me.
No.
I'm inverted. Always. Top Gun. I was inverted.
No.
I was inverted.
I just watched that yesterday. My wife had never seen Top Gun, the original, and I'm like, "We're watching it. We're watching it right now."
Did you take her to the danger zone? Maybe that's
We have not.
incorrect. Doesn't mean what it
Let's
sounds
not
like.
comment. But yeah,
Doesn't
we
sound-
have yet to see the new movie though.
Danger zone.
But now she's
See,
ready.
there you go. We got somebody singing it. Now she's ready. All right.
Well, not for the danger zone. but to
So
see the
I
new
lost
movie.
the other coffee mug. Yeah.
Yeah, we were playing with
so back to Horizon stuff. So a lot of what's being created now, we're moving away from a lot of clubs, although there are still some being created. But I'm starting to notice, like, See Me Bro use the asset library, and within a matter of days, put out a fully functional game. Hardy World Spades that released about a week prior, and that one's exploding. There seems to be more interactive worlds that are coming up that aren't club worlds that are really doing well. Have you seen any outside of those two that are really picking up, or do you have like ideas for worlds that you heard people are working on that are not club worlds that kind of are breaking that mold of hangouts?
Questies. Oh, sorry. Wait. Just kidding.
I'm gonna fight you
That's fake
in real
Just
life.
kidding.
Questies. I went to Questies for my high five per the missions, so I got my high five in Questies and threw my confetti.
I don't have missions yet.
What
Oh
are
man!
missions? Am I crazy? What
It's
are
a-
missions?
So
It's a new
basically,
thing where they
it's
get you to go
achievements
do
in
things.
menu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go into your new home completed. Apparently not. I don't have a home yet, but I got the
I
credit
don't have
for
a home
it.
either. Maybe
And
you have to have a
then
home to
high
get
five a
mission.
stranger.
They screwed up Facebook.
Huh.
So I actually got
That's
6
weird.
or 5 high five. Give a new friend a high five. Here, I'll show you if you can read them. But basically, you give a friend a high five. You get a credit for it. You could go to an event and throw confetti. You get a credit for it. Move into your home, which I don't
Nice.
have, but I got credit. Give me that.
I need a microscope.
I'm giving it to the
Oh
live
yeah.
stream. They
Can
want
the
to see.
stream see it? Yeah,
I
the
hope
stream
so.
can kind of see it.
It's a little
I'll
blurry,
get
but
closer
I
so it
see
doesn't
it.
disappear. But yeah, so all of these things, it's gone. So all these things that you get now as a mission, I guess it encourages people to kind of explore beyond the plaza. So I think it's creative. I like it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I
what do
think
you win?
that it you
If you
complete a
complete
circle.
all the missions.
So it's kind of like if you have the yeah, it's kind of like notifications. If you're the OCD type that you see a notification, you got to clear it right away. Mission has an incomplete circle. So for the Apple Watch fans out there, it's like, oh, I got to close that circle, and you go and do
Yeah.
all the things, and then go
if you
back to
do
whatever
all
you
of
were
it,
doing.
you get a Horizon apartment.
Not true. I still don't have mine, so don't spread those rumors.
I'm just
Speaking of which,
kidding.
the update today, a couple more people got apartments, so congrats to those.
Oh,
I still
nice.
am in the homeless hub,
street.
but yeah, people are getting their worlds. Gamer, I don't know what you're doing, but stop it.
Homeless? Wait a second. Wait. When you guys were talking about being homeless earlier today, you meant like the Horizon home?
Yeah, the
Oh, yeah.
Horizon home space.
Where have he been?
Some people are on the
We're still in
island,
the
and some
floating-
people are having a nice
Whoa!
penthouse
I thought you
apartment.
guys meant like, Rex's meta home. Like, I don't have a
No,
home
no, no,
because
no.
I haven't designed one. You guys are talking about the
No, like
apartment?
Oh,
your
boy.
home
I don't want an
space.
apartment. Can I get rid of my apartment?
That's a lot of people have said. I want a box or tent instead of my penthouse
I would
apartment.
love a
I
boxer
actually
tent.
love
Oh my
my
gosh.
place in the homeless hub. Like I actually
I
enjoy
So do you
really
have
love
the
going outside
apartment?
on people's boxes.
Do you have the
I
apartment?
do. I don't like
Oh,
it.
then you can't. Sorry, but you
It
can get your
loads
name
in
in one
so
of the buildings.
laggy. It's so laggy when I load in.
I've
And
heard
it's
that.
got
I
a
heard it does slow down the
link
load
to
time,
stuff. I want to like build my own apartment. Is that too much
and
to
you
ask?
can do that. You can do that in Horizon. So
It's kind of
I
par
think
for the
I
course
think the
with
whole
Horizon.
idea of
Something new
this.
releases, and people are
Yeah.
like, "I don't
And likes
want it,"
complaints.
and then they use it, and they're like, "Yeah."
I think it's great though for the non-builder, the person that doesn't know how to create and wants to have a space. Now they have a space. So if you don't like your Horizon
guess so.
apartment, make your own.
That seems okay. You're
Um,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, we should probably put an end to this so we can kind of wrap up our test,
Go.
post it online, and then kind of pump up our Sunday, our live
yeah.
event, Sunday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7
Oh,
Pacific. We're going to have someone
yeah.
from the audience or some people from the audience are going to join us up on stage, and we're going to live stream it, but also, of course, in world. So we're going to have this space open. It's going to be 28 person capacity just because of audio issues over 28. So go vote on that as well. Still an actual issue. So if you're having issues in your high capacity worlds, audio issues, lag, whatever it may be, go vote on that on user voice. Lakes will put that in the description too because it's a very important user voice bug. But come join us 10 o'clock Sunday Eastern, 7 Pacific. We want to see y'all in the audience. We want y'all to participate, ask questions, and of course, if you got something on your mind or something you want to share, just walk up to the mic and just share your thoughts, and we're happy to have them.
Hola,
So,
señora.
anything you want to close out with, Tanzer, where we can find you, what you're working on, how to hire you?
I do have something new that I'll
Cameras
be
over there.
good idea. I do have something new that I'll be dropping next week. I'm going on vacation tomorrow, so I'll be gone for the weekend, but I'm coming back. There'll be a promo video to go along with it. It's a little bit of a downer, so we'll have. It's a good thing I'm going first. So I created a funeral parlor, and I thought it would be a great space for man, this is really bad. If anybody in VR that we know does pass away, it would be a nice place to have a service for that person, as well as people that really want to celebrate the life of somebody that they know in life. They would have a space that maybe them and their family from different states could come meet together, have a little virtual service for them, just celebrate the life of that person. They would just contact me. I can create a session for them. Send me pictures of the person. I'll create a likeness of that person for that event. Update all the information in the world for that. They can choose the casket color and whatnot. Earn whatever they'd like to do. Hopefully, if we get video in Horizon, I'd love to be able to do a kind of like a slideshow of like images of that person's life as well. So hopefully that comes. I got monitors there for that. To coincide with that, I also came out with a cemetery. So if somebody does have that service, then I would also let them pick out a plot where they can go visit that loved one. I've already had a couple people that have plots for loved ones that they've lost, and they've already been visiting it. Good handful of times. And then I duplicated that world and made it for pets as well. So I have a pet cemetery,
awesome.
and if you
Wait,
have
what?
pets that have passed, we can add their information to one of the stones, and you can go visit them. And there's a rainbow bridge there, and you can give them gifts like
man.
bones and sticks and cans of tuna and a leash and just things like that. Gamer, go ahead.
Step up to the mic, though.
Yeah, so I have a promo coming out soon to go with this, but I guess this is a good place to announce it. So I'm releasing those 3 worlds next week.
Wow.
Wow.
I had a pet that died. Unfortunate. But died.
Yeah,
And
if you'd like to have it
just
added,
really
I'd be
sad.
happy to add that for you.
Yeah.
Just send me the information, and we can actually meet up over there, and you can pick a spot.
Yeah.
100%.
This is
So I
gonna
That's what it's
go
there for.
weird.
the initial
It is
I'm so
weird, but
the
hey,
scared.
initial shock.
it's making the metaverse a real thing,
Yeah.
right? Like this is
Yeah,
not
no,
just
it
making a
is.
game or a hangout, but this is
I'm
this.
like,
You might go there in a private
shook.
instance just to visit, you know,
Yeah.
in your own time and
Like for sure, when I pass, I want my
He's dying to
party
talk over me.
celebration in the metaverse.
yeah.
But like,
We
I can't even
we can
imagine
create
that.
a bot and we could just leave you there.
I was
in-
gonna
in this
say,
little
KO, she's gonna outlive me for sure. All of her family lives into the hundreds. But when she can play me in the coffin. You can have her pretend to be me in the coffin.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's creepy. I did kind of
so
talk about maybe
scary.
for
Okay.
Halloween I would make the thing.
Okay, before we go too
That's
dark
horrible.
into
Horrible.
deepness or too deep
Let's move
into
on.
darkness, my initial shock in your announcement, I have to really address that because the reaction is a genuine reaction that people will have, but in all reality it is so true. That is an amazing thought to put that together for people who want to celebrate the life of someone, who want to have a place that they can go and visit. And I mean that entire idea from the service to the cemetery to cemetery for pets. I struggle saying pet cemetery because my childhood ruined. Stephen King, thank you for that. But
Yeah. It's done very well,
I
not
have to commend
scary,
you.
beautifully done.
Yeah, maybe work on that name just in case. I know that the spelling's a little different, but in all seriousness, that's an amazing thought, and I'm so glad that you're doing it
Thank you.
because I trust in the products that you've put out and the worlds that you've put out that they're very thoughtful and they're very well put together. So I really encourage when that does come out for people to check that out. And I have to ask the strange question because obviously we're already in strange territory. Are you charging for any of this? The service, the customization, the putting the names on the plots? I guess there's a general question answer to that, maybe, rather than
Yeah.
going into, yeah, I've thought about all the pricing, but just a yes or a no or to be continued.
You know, if I have to create a likeness of the person, then there's some time that would go into that, and there I could get a ton of people reaching out to me to do different, things and wanting to
That's
do
fair.
this. So depending on my time, there might be a small charge just for that, but otherwise creating the event and all of that, no charges for that, just time to do any special customizations or modifications of it, because people could have fake things all the time and you'd be making it over and over again for something that's just a joke or whatever. Serious
Yep.
people, people is what I would be looking for. And then to put their name in the cemetery, no charge whatsoever to do that. Same thing with the pet cemetery, no charge to do that. So if you don't want to have a service or whatnot, but you do want to recognize somebody in the cemetery, I have no problem adding them in. You just reach out to me, we'll find a spot, we'll go there, pick it out, send me all the information, and we'll get it on one of the stones, and you can visit at your leisure, private instance, whatever you want to do.
That's amazing. I'm so grateful to hear that, and I do hope that people are, giving some kind of um, whether it's gratuity or some kind of recognition or sharing your world, because it's an amazing thought. We've had weddings in here, we've had divorce courts and paternity courts and all of the other stuff that goes on, and people always I guess death is an afterthought. So without taking it way deeper into the darkness, I want to just say shout out to you for what you're doing and
Thank you,
crossing
Tim.
that line of comfortability to really address something that is going to be really valuable one day in here. So
hope
getting
so.
ahead of it, that's great insight.
I
So
think
okay.
the interesting thing that is worth not getting out of the darkness just yet for is
Okay.
that at some point you have to recognize that to build this world that Tanzer has talked about, to maintain it, could literally be an entire business, which is kind of remarkable.
Yeah.
And I think it's such a cool aspect to that in Horizon Worlds. You can literally form a real life business in here, and it can be something as sentimental as a I don't even know
Funeral
what they're
parlor.
called, but they have a name. yeah, funeral parlor, if that's what they're called.
So get that published before Michael Gregory hears about this live stream. Do it now. We're gonna have a string of funeral homes
But I
starting
think what I was
tomorrow.
going to say that I think is most important is there's a couple mindsets, and one that I've had to more recently kind of adapt and learn to, which is in this instance here as an example, if you wanted to have a sustainable place that maybe isn't something you're charging for, isn't necessarily expensive. Right now, it's not necessarily possible, but in the future, I imagine there will be things that enable this. And what you could imagine is somebody walks in and they can type in a name and it permanently inscribes it on stone. And
Yeah,
they can maybe place the stone down in the world, right? And you could even imagine that one day there's a way they can actually just buy the service and upload their photo, or put their asset in the picture frame. Like I think those are possible things we'll see over the next decade get made into reality.
Yeah.
And so what I'm pointing to here is this kind of scripter mindset is what I think of it as, which is we try to find efficiency and ways that we can optimize a problem so that we don't have to do it by hand over and over again. And so that's kind of like what my first thought was when I heard what you're talking about as far as a process goes. And I'd encourage anybody when they're looking at a problem to see how do they approach that process. For instance, we just recently built the Vidyuu verification program. We're not announcing it today, but it is available if you'd like to check it out. It's vidyuu.com/VV. And the really cool thing about this program, we'll be announcing it probably next week. We just have a lot of little bugs.
Definitely not announcing it now while he announces it, but
definitely not announcing it now, but it is available. I know. Isn't that funny? But anyway, the thing is, while I was working on it, we spent, I want to say it was about 6 hours building a new tool that allows you to create your own profile, upload your own photos, and, update your description. And so you're going to be able to have, once you get verified, your own little profile on our website, and it's searchable. You can type in someone's Oculus username and all of that. And the only thing that we have to do as far as manual entry is after we approve that person to be added to the directory, we type in their username and their email address, and then they can update everything themselves. And that one little bit of optimization is going to save us countless hours. And so it took us 6 hours to get that set up. And bye, Lauren. And so, yeah, just encourage you to think about optimization when you're looking at your worlds and anything even in and out of Horizon. How do you kind of like take a process and make it easier? I think that's it, Oculus. If you want to shout out Sunday again, and but yeah, vidyuu.com/VV.
Oh no, I'm gonna go a step further. He left. Dang.
Oh.
Dang. He left. Somebody was just here, and I had literally been looking at their profile earlier in this show. Did you know that there's a world called Vidyuu the Goat?
What?
Vidyuu the Goat. And the person was just here who created that world, and I was like, yes, I gotta put him up on the mic. But they left. But Katniss Everclean.
Hakuna Matata. I love Hakuna Matata.
Yep.
He's great.
So Hakuna Matata just left. So shout out to Hakuna Matata for not only supporting Vidyuu, but creating an entire world to shout out Vidyuu the Goat. But no, Sunday, make sure you're here, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific. I always kind of laugh inside when people say space is limited, but in all reality, we've done 3 tests now, not including this one. Every one of them filled up, and we had audio issues, so I got to drop the world down to 28.
Hakuna's back.
So 28 may not seem like a lot. Yes, we're gonna redo that entire thing. So
Hakuna.
28 may not seem like it's limited space, but within 10 minutes, this place fills up when we do something in the evening.
We will be
Hakuna
live
Matata,
on
come
Vidyuu
on up.
nights
Come on up.
on YouTube.
He's like, shoot, I came here by
So,
mistake, and he's probably
if
like,
you miss
about to bounce
getting
out.
here in person on Sunday, Vidyuu nights on YouTube.
There he is.
So
Also,
Lake will
also,
not be
we
on
are
stage
only
Sunday.
90 subscribers
can
from
actually say
1,000.
the
So
things.
if you haven't subscribed to
So
Vidyuu
close.
nights, please help us.
So close. So if anybody wants to come up to the mic before we close out, please feel free. If you got questions for either one of these two, got questions for me,
Like
something
Hakuna
you want to ask about
Matata.
Horizon, something you want to get off your chest, please come on down. Hakuna Matata, I would love to have you on the mic just for 1 second. Come on down. I got a question for you. Hakuna Matata.
Throw some
wonderful
confetti
phrase.
for Hakuna.
Means no
Woo!
worries. Throw some confetti.
What a
some
wonderful
confetti.
phrase.
All right, you got
Yeah.
to run and start to get in there. Hakuna Matata, welcome.
What's going on?
Not trying to put you on the spot, but I want to put you on the spot. If I had to
Not
ask
trying
you
to
a
put me
question,
on the
would you answer
spot.
honestly? Yeah, I want an honest answer. Do you think Vidyuu is the GOAT?
What's that? Oh, Vidyuu's beyond the GOAT. If you ask if Vidyuu's a GOAT, then yes. He's beyond,
Beyond
the
the
GOAT.
GOAT. I was actually looking at your profile before you came in, which was crazy because I was searching Vidyuu and I saw Vidyuu the goat, and I was like, "Oh, I got to bring this up." And then you came in, and I was like, "Yes, this is perfect." But what made you make that world? Like, why? What was the point?
So
What did you want to shout him out for?
1 second.
Sure.
We are live.
Okay. All right. So basically, what happened was I don't say I use a lot of Lake's a lot of his essentials packs, but I do use a lot, and I'm trying to start up a community of new builders that are going to help each other essentially build. So that's one thing that I like to spread out. So like, say if I know someone that's new, I'll bring them there. I could tell him about it. It's one thing if I tell him like the Vidyuu pack directly, but I try to add some of my own things in there as well. And essentially, it's basically I'm trying to give him a shout out as well as if I'm showing someone some new things, I can put them on. And I know that over every so often, I think I don't want to say the Vidyuu pack. He adds a lot of people to it. He was telling me something about him adding a lot of people to it. There's only like I want to say like probably 5 or 6 collaborators that have added to it, and I don't know. It's just he's not. He's always busy. So people can get the Vidyuu pack as well. I'll just give it out, and like he told me before, if you publish it, they get the published version opposed to being the edited version. So that's why I mainly have it. And it's from Vidyuu, so Vidyuu's the GOAT. That's why I named it that.
Vidyuu's the GOAT. So that is the phrase for today. Vidyuu is the GOAT. We appreciate not only you using the Vidyuu Essentials, but sharing it with more new people. I always try to figure out early on, how is it that we can do what we're doing on a larger scale? And the only answer to that is having the people that we impact and share our knowledge and our skills, and having them continue to share that with other people. And that's the perfect example right there. So even if it's 6 or 600, it doesn't matter. You're helping at least one other person.
Exactly.
And that's improving the community.
My philosophy when it comes to new people is, if I can help 5, 10, 15 new people learn how to build, even if it's basic building, who knows what they can create in Horizon World. So it's like, I rather give people 100%. The essentials, give people as much as I know. Like I'm still learning myself. I've been here for like 2.5 months, a little over 2 months. But either way, it's, like I only know so much, and I'm willing to give everyone, like, if they want to learn, that's my biggest thing. If someone wants to learn, I'll let them know everything that I know so they can become the best that they can become in Horizon World as the creator. I guess
I think we're always learning, right? Even if you think you know everything, you always can learn from somebody something.
Learning.
So your brain's full.
I stopped. Player enters trigger, and I don't remember what comes next, so I'm gonna have to check it.
I think I have that same problem.
No, but he's right. We are always learning, and I'm learning from all these new people coming in, and I love that.
Especially
with
with
new
Horizon
people coming in
changing.
are so passionate.
Horizon's always changing, so we're always having to relearn.
That's the best.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
Right, and learn in a different way.
So, Hakuna Matata, anything you want to share? Any questions you have while you're up here? I know I put you on the spot, and I appreciate you.
I'll holler all 3 of y'all later on. I'll stay here, and then I'll talk to y'all later after. I do want to talk to Lakes, and then y'all 2 are just probably add on to the cake. So I'll talk to all 3 of y'all after, if that's good.
We're like layer 3 on a 10-tier cake. We got Lakes. 9 tiers.
I'm gonna say, like, when I walked in here, I was pretty surprised. I'm like, oh crap, okay.
Right now at Horizon Live, and we still have a few spaces left in here, so feel free to come on by. We are wrapping the live stream, but Micah, feel free to come on down to Horizon Live and Horizon Worlds.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the live stream actually kind of circled into where everyone's starting to get off work and get into Horizon and get online, and now it went from 5 people to we've got enough to fill middle and front row. So, Lord Jules, welcome back to the mic. What's happening?
All right, quick question. So I noticed that not this current update, but the previous update, like either yesterday or 2 days before
Tuesday.
Everyone is experiencing like a bunch of glitches in the worlds. Like microphones is like if you try to pick up a microphone, it's just flying, going crazy. Even like pin codes, like you try, like if you like the digital pin, those not working in all the worlds. So I'm just wondering, are you guys still experiencing those glitches, or have you guys heard of anything if they're going to resolve those issues?
I've heard they've been fixed.
I know you're dying to do it. I'm gonna stop you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop you.
Oh, okay.
You're dying. So for the most part, they are fixed. But anything that's still not fixed, because there are some things still out there that are not fixed, make sure you go to horizonworlds.uservoice.com. And pictures definitely help, but if you can get a video in there, then that'll be able to get the help the help you need much faster. So there are some scripts that still aren't working, but yes, like said, everything for the most part should be fixed. But there are some things that are still out there that are not fixed. So we need to know what they are so that we can get them fixed. So horizonworlds.uservoice.com, and please include all the information you got: world name, when it was, a picture, video, whatever you got. Because if you just say scripts aren't working in my world, that's going to sit. Nobody's going to look at that. And when they do, it's just going to be trying to find you in the real world to get that same information out of you. So please put all that information in there if you still have something broken. So go check that out when you get a chance.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Appreciate the question.
Mm-hmm.
Dangerously Wild, welcome. What's happening? Woo!
Hey.
Oh no.
Oh,
I don't know.
There it is.
It was it intuition or what, but I was just looking for you guys. I just saved both of you on Instagram, and you so happen to be in the
Hey.
same spot.
Yep. We
I
can
have,
travel together now and again.
Right.
I'm the companion
Do it.
flight. He's the
Say,
VIP.
y'all better stop hating on my friend and stop getting him banned, okay? Because I've been stalking him for a minute and I can't find him, and now you're here.
Oh, you talking about me? Yeah, that 24 hours
Yeah,
was the
you.
longest in my life. I appreciate the support.
Yeah, you. I've been and I want to say you guys are doing an awesome job at
Thank you.
helping the community and things of that sort. I've only been here since May. I just got here in May, but
Oh,
I love it here.
welcome.
It makes me feel like I'm in Sims and all the creations and all of that stuff. This is something I was doing already, so I just get excited.
If you really want to experience it, turn on the garbled voices and go to the plaza, and you hear
Oh,
the,
I heard them. I heard them, and I was like, that is the funniest stuff ever. What is that? I didn't
Still don't know the
understand why
benefit
we
yet.
would use that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it if someone's annoying to you or something, you don't actually hear them, you hear some random
No,
noise?
if you're not friends with them, it makes a garbled voice where you don't understand what they're saying. They can
Yeah,
set
that's
their
weird.
settings like
Yeah.
that now. It's a newer thing. So all
Yes.
you hear is jumble, like weird gibberish.
But you should come visit my world. But yes, once you're unbusy, I want to talk to you guys about something.
Unbusy. When is that?
Unbusy.
When are we? not-
Exactly.
find out.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. I just had to come up
No.
here and say that.
All seriousness, that's my wheelhouse. I will definitely come check your world out. And if you wanted to be in the world tours, just add me as a tester and connect with me in Instagram or Facebook. Hit me up in my DM, and then we'll
I
talk
got
about
you.
your world. So appreciate you.
Hey,
And that
thank
goes
you
for
so
everybody.
much.
I always love to have new worlds to share with the community. So please add me as a tester. Connect with me on any social media, same name, and then we'll be able to get that in tours. Micah, what's up?
Hey, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome.
Nice. Hey, nice to be here. So I just started building in Horizon Worlds. I've been here for a few weeks now,
Awesome.
and I was wondering if you can recommend anywhere where I can find someone that could do some coding work for a fee or something like that. Is there any? Do you know of any places, or do you just connect with people, or I
For
don't know how that works.
scripting,
We know a bunch of free
Yeah.
stuff.
the scripting
So
class.
you
Maybe
want to
the audio
learn, or you want
scripters
to pay somebody in a pinch?
to
Like,
do the
what's the do
Yeah,
you
I mean,
wanna learn, or
basically,
do you
yeah,
want to pay
'cause
somebody, or
I know some basic stuff, but I'd rather just like I have an idea of what I want to do, and I'd just rather pay someone to do this project, that and just get it
If
all.
you go to
made,
the
you know?
scripting classes, a lot of times the scripting classes they're teaching other scripters or new people how to script, and you'll find pretty much the scripting people of Horizon all there. They're
Yeah,
all students
the
as well
best.
as teachers, and
Okay.
a lot of them will go and do a breakout session with you and help somebody out
Oh,
with
nice.
stuff. A lot of times they'll do it for free, and some people charge for things, but it's a great place to source the scripters is definitely at those scripting classes.
Is that I've
I'm
heard
not
something
sure
about
on
that.
the
Is that on
times.
Thursdays? every Thursday or something.
Yep, every Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern,
Tuesday,
5
Wednesday,
o'clock
and
Pacific.
Thursday,
Sometimes
depending
they
on
have
what
time
you're
in
looking
there
at.
where you can ask questions and you can talk
Hey
to
Ronnie,
them
do me a favor.
specifically
Do me a
about
favor,
what you
Ronnie.
have
Hop
a
up in
problem.
line because you're not on global. Hop up in line or grab a
We can
seat.
barely
I'd
hear
love
you,
to hear
yeah.
what you want to say, but you're not on
All
global,
right,
so
I'll
it's just
leave, bro.
mumbling.
All right, bro. I hear you, bro.
No, just hop in
Yeah,
line.
that works. So, Micah,
All right.
on Tuesdays, you have the scripting office hours. Wednesdays, waffle hours. Thursdays, Creators Academy. Plus, there's plenty of other ad hoc stuff going on. Just follow the Facebook groups, the Discord. There's lots going on and lots of opportunities. So, if you end up not being able to find someone that you can pay to do it at that point, I would highly
Yeah.
suggest using the Facebook group and just let people know I'm at this point. I need someone to help me do this, and that gives
Okay.
people a little more encouragement that you actually put in some work. Other times, if you just say I need a scripter, people see it as you just need free work. So you got to make sure you're not coming
Right.
across as trying to use somebody that you're already clearly saying you want to pay somebody. But I think
Yeah,
all
for
the
sure.
scripting
Because I know it's
resources is definitely where
it's a
you want to
skill.
start.
Skills are they
Yep.
have value. So
We're
so
working on
basically, can I
something
find
new,
that
actually.
on?
Lagging, or is it just me again?
Can I find that in here? Like, do I just come here and can I search it in the worlds, or do I find
So
those
there's
by
event
going to
spaces.
Facebook?
Everything in the house right
Yeah.
now is
If
on
you
the
open
phone.
up your risk
it's the
menu,
I don't
events.
understand why.
Ah, okay. You just go
yeah,
to the event.
look for the
okay.
events Tuesdays, Wednesdays,
So
and
it's a live
Thursdays,
event.
and those will be where you
Okay.
can get in. Yep.
All right. Thanks.
So we're actually
Awesome,
building a
man.
really cool directory. We just started about 2 days ago, so we got a lot of work left to
Not
do.
not
and
announcing it today,
We're
but
not
let's talk.
announcing it, but we'll talk about it. You can actually start getting signed up if you are a creator who wants to get into this directory right now. You just go to vidyuu.com/vv. And one of the things that it's going to enable is when you go to this directory, you're able to search for people who want to teach. So you'll be able to search for instructors as one of the properties. And so you'll be able to find other creators who are looking to mentor. And so that'll be an option on the directory, as well as, if you're looking for scripter, builder, etc. But yeah, very excited for that to be coming around.
Yeah, and we actually are hearing people like kind of talking about the need for this service, so it's right on time. And with Micah's question, with others who come to tours asking for help, these are things that are going to be super valuable to you as a builder and a scripter to be able to show off your abilities, but also to find people if you're looking for help. Definitely not announcing it, still not talking about it, but just wanted to share that.
Got me having questions.
Give me that like that.
Yeah, come on up.
Say what? Yeah, the
Well, if you're not
microphone
talking
is
about it, I
for
don't want to ask
questions, so
questions
please
about
walk
it.
up to the microphone.
Yeah, ask
Come
questions
on
about
up.
it.
He's
That's
got
good.
questions about it, but we're not announcing it.
So I
That's
know
how
we're
it
not
works,
talking
man.
about it, but we're going to talk about a tiny bit. So
Appreciate that
yeah,
respect.
so for a is it going to be anyone? Are those people that are going to be mentoring? Are they going to be making money off of it? Like you're going to advertise? Say if I had a friend that was really good at scripting or really good.
Okay.
Okay, I'm here still. Or I had a friend that's really good at building. Would you be able to find them and then from there it'd say what they charge per hour or what they charge per project? Like, is it or just going to be a spot where people that want to help people can generally be?
We haven't
What do
thought
you
about
want to know?
understood the
pricing on
question or
there.
not.
Let me tell you a little bit about it first and foremost. So the first thing that we wanted to do was we wanted to make a place where, as a business, we build worlds for work, but we also know a lot of people are building worlds for work. And there's a lot of projects that we can't take on, like Micah coming up here. That's something that we couldn't take on as Vidyuu, but there are tons of you guys out there who do want this work. And so what we wanted to do is be able to say, these people have been verified by us, and we think that they can definitely, whether it's building or scripting, do the thing that you need them to do. So there's two different badges you can get. One is for building, one is for scripting. And right now for the remainder of this year, we're doing a 50% discount. So it's $50 per application. If you don't pass, you have to get a 70% or higher. The grading rubric is public. So everything we're doing is trying to help you pass. But if you don't pass the first time, you get a second test for free, and we'll tell you where you need to improve. So we really are trying to help people build themselves up, create business here, and we are looking at other opportunities. So I know there's a lot of videographers, DJs, and other things there. So we are looking at some of that. But for now, we're just starting with building and scripting. And so this directory is going to be a place where you can find all of these people who've been Vidyuu verified, and you'll know that they know these kind of like basic elements that we kind of expect everybody to know, whether it's like don't have Z ripping, make sure your floors are level, kind of like the standard stuff you'd expect. And yeah.
All right. So next question would be: so like, say if you have a list of like 5 different people, can they choose what they want like as an hourly rate? So like, say for me, I'm new. Say if it was, hey, if someone wants help, can I charge them like $5 an hour? Opposed to someone that might do like $50 or $100 an hour?
Yeah, people will just reach out to you. I mean, the plan is we'll have links to your Instagram, your Facebook, whatever you want to link to, you'll be able to put there. You can put your phone number, your email address, and when they reach out, you get to determine that pricing. I don't know that we really want to list pricing there because I think it's very subjective. You might come back in a year and be like, "Oh, I forgot to update
Right.
this. Why am I still advertising that?" I'd say you're probably not charging enough to anybody in the audience. I definitely don't charge $5. Your time is really valuable.
Well, I
really
mean,
encourage
at
you
the end of
to.
the day, I rather my biggest thing is helping people out. So I rather, I would say something free, but if it's gonna be something where you make some money, if they're willing to pay, I rather $5 is
Yeah.
better than
Let me
nothing. At
touch
the
on
same
that.
time, it's it adds some value
Yeah,
opposed to none.
fabulous.
But I mean, it's also off a level
So-
too. So like, if I'm a new builder, I'm not gonna expect someone to pay me 50 when you've been here for 3-4 years, asking the same thing. It's kind of obvious you want to go to someone that has more experience opposed to someone that's newer. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's one thing I was
I-
kind of asking
I would
for
s-
that.
I'll give you 10.
I would say I wouldn't worry about charging 50 because your time's worth your time, and value is based on what somebody will pay for it. So if you want to do it for free because you
People
want
pay
to help
crazy
people,
millions in
you can
this
still
game.
do it. Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, if you want to help people, you want to do stuff for free, that's your choice. It's your time. When it comes to something that you want to make money on, or the person that comes to you, it's not a direct connection, and they're just trying to get something done, and you want to charge them. You want to get what you're worth. So one thing that Michael Gregory was sharing on here on Sunday was that he went to Ask Your Q, Speak Your Truth. Shout out Burden of Proof, amazing. The show Lakes was on announcing Vidyuu, but actually announcing Vidyuu verified, but not announcing.
That's where we announced it.
And Michael Gregory said, I got a question. I got so much work. I got so much stress. I got so much on my plate. I got all this stuff going on. I got my team that's helping me organize, but I'm just always busy building for other people. What do I do? And I said, you get to a point where you start to lose track of what your value is and what you're charging. So, what that worth is. So, when you start to get to a point where you got less hours in your day and you're just taking on too much work, raise your prices. Because when you raise your prices, you start to level out that what you're worth versus what you're charging, and you get to that
Yeah.
kind of balance where now you're doing less work, you're making the same if not more money, and the clientele changes. You actually get better clientele when you start raising your prices. Because if you notice out in the real world, if you're a service provider and you charge $10 an hour for something, that person who's hiring you, not only are they down your back all the time about every little step of the thing you're doing for them, how much are you going to charge if it's extra, how much more you'll give them because you already paid, will you give them a discount next time? If you get a client that you just give them a good price for what you're worth, a lot of times they'll be like, can I pay you today? Can I write you a check for the whole thing? Can I go ahead and transfer this now? Go ahead and do your thing and let me know when it's done. It's just a whole nother level. And maybe Lakes, you can talk to this as well, being in the videography. um, Going
Yep.
from these clients that you charge so little because you feel like you don't want to take too much out of their pocket, but then once you realize what you're worth, these clients just completely shift, and now you've got a whole nother world of opportunity, and you're working less and you're feeling better about it.
I would
Yeah.
say very quickly, if Hakuna, I totally feel exactly what you're saying. I don't want to charge anybody for small stuff, because like
Mhm.
my company makes enough money, they pay me well. I'm really grateful for the people on my team like Oculus here, and we got a whole team that's helping us do all the meta documentation and so much stuff. So we're really blessed to have that, and so I pay it forward. Anytime somebody's asking for help, I do my best to help them. I'm commented on Micah's comments on YouTube. I'm like writing some scripts out, and I'm trying to do my best to help people because I know that they're going to continue paying that forward. And so we just kind of cascade that as far as we can. Of course, I run out of time like all the time. There's a comment by Micah. I haven't even responded yet because I was just like, I'm sorry, I just can't. My mental capacity, I'm over. I did my best I could. So it's like there's only so much we can do, and I'd say just do what you can that you want to. Try not to burn yourself out. Have fun with it. I would never recommend charging $5 an hour for a client. If you're ever thinking $5 an hour for somebody, I would say just offer to do it for free. That way you can walk away at any point. There's no financial commitment. And when you do want to do something for money, make sure you're getting paid well. because your clients will likely be better. To Oculus's point, when I started my videography business a decade ago, I went from working a job at Sony where I was getting paid $10 an hour, which was amazing because minimum wage was $6. And I was like, I'm getting paid double minimum wage. This is amazing. And so I was like, $10 an hour is so big. And then I started my video company. We were charging $20 an hour. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And what I realized was I was actually working double the hours. So still only making like $10 an hour, if that, because, you know, there's always all this other time you put in behind the scenes that people aren't seeing, whether it's emails or business management. And so I had to double my price to 40, and then I went to 60, and then 80, and I finally got to 100, which is where I stopped. I couldn't imagine charging more than $100 an hour, but even then I was still only making like 50 an hour because there's all of that stuff that's happening behind the scenes that nobody's seeing. So definitely the big change that I saw though is I went from $20 an hour clients who were like really treating me awfully. They weren't paying me. I wasn't like, I'd literally go 3 years and they'd finally come back and be like, hey, I'd like to actually buy the rest of that stuff because I never got my, like, we don't deliver if you don't pay, right? Those videos, we were still holding on to them 3 years later. They're like, can we buy that? And we're like, yeah, finally we're getting paid. You know, so clients went from that to the point where like Oculus is talking about where we're getting paid up front. There's no like questions. I also had to go from like I was requesting check only or cash only because I was worried about credit card fees to the point where I was like, okay, yeah, you can pay with credit card, and we just tacked on an extra 10%, and we're like, no biggie. So I think definitely raising your prices is always the right choice. You know, until you aren't able to afford your bills, in which case maybe you need to go down a little bit. There probably is a limit, you know, but
Yeah.
Anyway, those are
So
my
raise your prices. Everybody out there who's overworked and stressed, just raise your prices. I know it sounds crazy.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's a whole new
It
world
is.
out there. Just raise your prices.
Okay.
Hakuna Matata, we got a line. If you do have another question, please ask
Oh
it.
shit!
Otherwise,
No, I
can we
didn't know
get,
this was a line. Sorry.
appreciate you. No worries.
Micah, welcome back.
Micah,
Hey, so I keep hearing about like hourly rate and whatnot, but I guess like with my project,
What's
I
up,
have
bro?
this
Chill,
world
chill.
partially built and whatever. And it's like I know, you know, certain little projects or whatever. So is that something that would be like feasible to you guys or anyone that does the coding? Like, here's what I would like for, you know, this little thing, that little thing, and then you just pay per little project?
Yeah, that's a really
Or-
good question.
Yeah.
I would for
think
me
Candace should take
personally,
that
like I'm a builder. I don't script. So like for me, like what really I would meet with a client and find out what it is that they need, because then I'll have to figure out, do I need to bring a scripter in for certain parts of it? How much are we looking to do here? Is it within my wheelhouse?
Yeah.
I'm also a fast builder. I'm a detailed builder, but I'm a fast builder. So an hourly rate for me would devalue like what I do. So I would probably base my price off of what is needed, and really how long it takes me doesn't really matter as long as you're getting what you want and the price works for both of us. So it depends on that person, but sometimes an hourly rate isn't necessarily the right fit. So I don't know what you guys have to say about it.
Yeah, that's I wanted to quickly tag on that, which is we also do flat rates. Like we think about everything in terms of hours because we pay our people hourly.
about to die, I'll be
And
back.
you know, I'm like really proud to pay our team hourly because it means I don't have to worry about them getting what happened to me, right? Where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm only actually making half of that. And so but when we are charging our clients, we look at it from a per project and we're looking at it from that whole standpoint. So one thing you might be thinking if you are out there as someone who wants to charge is if you are suggesting a full project price and you're quoting for the whole price, you could potentially say, I think it's going to take me 10 hours and I would normally charge 25 an hour. So that's $250, but let's go and double that. Did I do the math right? I think I did. And then now you're charging them 500, which gives you a little bit of leeway and allows you to say, if I can keep it to my 10 hours, now I'm making 50 an hour, which has doubled my rate, but nobody's really going to notice because you just told them it was $500 and they thought that's a great deal. Which honestly, that is a great deal. So, yeah, I think that's definitely a way to go, is to get your project quoted out. I definitely encourage flat rates. I think it's good for both people. You know, it's good for you as a business because you know what you're going to expect. It's also good for the people who are getting paid because if they get it done on time, then maybe you're getting paid a little bit more per hour. I think if you're running a business, as some people are out here, you might want to look at the hourly rate to pay people at, because I think that's also good for employee morale. But maybe not. You know, could go either way. So definitely encourage you guys to play with it, have fun. I'm no expert. I'm just learning like everybody else. Yeah. We'll keep sharing what we learned.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the underlying answer here is that the prices are all over the place still. It's so early. So
Yeah.
just connect with people, find someone that you connect with and you can work with, somebody who understands what your needs are, and then they'll deliver on it. So just make sure you set the expectation of what you're looking for and make sure they understand what you're looking for.
And I would also say check out their worlds, what they've done before. Check out their creations. If they have a hub world, go to that. You definitely want, if you're going to be paying for a service, make sure that you're getting what you paid for. A lot of people will be like, "Oh yeah, I can make that world for you," but they've never even built the world, or they've built one world and nothing snapped together right, and you just paid all this money and you got one of the template worlds with just a couple extra things put in
Right.
it. So you don't want that.
Seen it happen. Seen it happen. Very Alloy, welcome. What's on your mind? You are in a party still, but that's all right. Once you get out of that party, we would love to hear what it
You
is
know
you
what
got
I'm
to
saying?
say.
What's up, y'all?
There we go.
I hear you now.
Okay, so my question is basically, you guys are pretty big. We all know y'all are making money
I
from
mean,
this.
we work out a little bit.
I don't want to talk about rates.
Hit the gym.
I want to talk. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk big stuff like contracts. I want to talk about like contacting companies outside of the metaverse and how you guys get your clients and stuff like that for little creators like me that don't make money and really want to and need monetization tools. Also, how could we get, you know what I'm saying, it's closer
That's a good
to
question.
monetization tools? That's also another question.
I don't know that we have the right answer yet, to be honest.
All right. See?
There's no official comment on monetization. That's the easy answer.
Yeah.
Nothing public about it.
Unfortunately.
Well, I'm not in monetization. He is.
Totally just throws me out there. Jesus.
I just want to throw him under the bus.
I'm not trying to stir the pot, okay? I'm just.
But I'm going to be honest.
Okay, to make it a better question, is there anything that you guys would suggest for smaller creators as far as like handling their business and
first of
maybe
all,
getting monetization
I think
tools?
The monetization program, we see people like See Bro and Oculus using it and their worlds. I'm just going to throw out everybody I know that's actually using it. Just kidding.
Tanzer, run. Run, Tanzer.
Oh, is Tanzer in the monetization program? I didn't know that. Tanzer apparently. I had no idea.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, man.
But like for sure, we needed the monetization tools. Don't get me wrong. It was an absolute need. I'm glad they're rolling it out slowly. It's probably only to major creators because there's a lot of things I'm sure they're working out. Apparently, I'm not a major creator.
But that's what I'm confused with. See, I'm confused about that. So it's like, I don't. Like it's not.
I am too. I have
it's not
no
making
idea
sense.
how
You know what I'm saying? Honestly, no disrespect to anybody who has monetization. I'm trying to figure out what makes you eligible, and I'm not getting no responses from Meta.
Yeah, I don't think I would worry about that just yet because here's what I'm really trying to say is I don't think it's the right answer. I think, yeah, sure. We see people like Soapstone that are constantly popular and they're getting tons of donations.
You should be. You should ask them.
But
I'm sorry, I got distracted.
No, I have it on my thing.
So the thing is, we see places like Soapstone that are getting lots of donations. I was blown away when I saw how many they had. And so, yeah, it's working for them. And, I've seen some art worlds, and for sure, I'm going to go in there and support these artists that are building some amazing creations and that I just enjoy. I think the big thing, though, is if you're building a world, the way to make money is through brand partnerships. Like that is the easiest, most sensible way to make money in my head because user to user is the hardest. Everybody knows business to business is the way to make money. And so we don't actually have like a ton of success stories to like share with you at this point, but I'll tell you about a failure that I think is something that's important to learn from failures. And so one quote failure isn't something I'd regard as a failure as much as it was we went to a company called Monster Energy Drinks. You probably heard of them. And we were like, hey, we've got this idea. We'd love to put your brand in there. We think we could use it as potions. We think we could use it as this and that. Here's how much it would cost for us to make sure your brand be a part of our world that we're building. And here's the things that we can do. And we laid out this pitch. Now they really only do like sports sponsorships, but I was like, a lot of people are interested in getting into the metaverse. This might be something they're interested in. So they turned us down. But I think if you send out 100 of those, you're going to get one at least that's going to say, yeah, let's see what we can do. The thing is, you got to come in with a strong portfolio. You got to come in. And the thing that we're learning right now is people as businesses are very confused at what Horizon Worlds is. They've never been here. They've never seen it. They don't know what it feels like. They don't understand that these blocky chairs feel real to us. They are an experience that you have to experience, and they just haven't. They look at it. They're like, what's up with these tables? Why is it so weird? Why is it so wonky?
Right.
And
Yeah, I mean, we all came in like that.
yeah, and so the thing that we have to explain to them is, there's this feeling of presence that's gonna blow people away. There's so also they want to
Let
know
'em know
what
it's
is
the ground
possible. And
floor.
while you can of course run into someone else's world and grab a picture and be like, this is what's possible in Horizon Worlds, you got to also know the limitations of that, right? So if you go to like one of Merck's worlds that is 4 players and the object that you're looking at is 50% capacity, we absolutely love visiting his Ecto 1. Oh,
Question was,
my
what's your
advice is just
advice?
keep. My advice is just keep going. Like.
No, right.
We're trying to reel you back in.
No, I think like that was very helpful to my question. So it's like basically yes,
that's
like
good.
keep like trying to contact brands and like that's recommended.
I used to do door-to-door sales, which I do not recommend at all. I've
Me
told
too.
anybody who gets
Yeah.
into that.
Don't recommend it
And
either.
It was some of the worst things I've ever done, and like as a person, it was horribly like it
Was it
hurt.
vacuums by
And
chance?
so
Because you have to sell it.
it
It's
wasn't
only
vacuums.
bad when
you
you
have- like
knock
selling
on the door
yourself.
and they're like, "Can't you read? No soliciting."
Yeah.
You're like, "There's a welcome sign right there. What are you talking
It's like
about?"
selling your soul.
I get it.
But
Yeah,
the thing
right.
that I think is
so
this is the
put
same
yourself
thing
out
though.
there.
Really, we are in this stage where that is where it's at. Is you have to go to these businesses like knocking on their door, and you're going to get a ton of no's. And while we have been turned down by one that I've done, I know that we need to do another 99. And so I'm talking to Oculus and some of the other members of our team, and I'm like, who can we put on this that just their entire job is literally messaging companies to see if they have interest in this, because that is an entire position.
It's a whole job. That's what, yeah.
I would suggest
And eventually they're going to
a
start
Facebook
coming in.
page. Make a Facebook page that is for your brand. Start posting your assets, your worlds, the stuff that you've done. So then that way, when you do contact one of these places, you can direct them someplace that they can go
that's a
and
good
look
idea.
at that. So if you don't have a place for them to go, they're not going to know who you are and what you're about and what quality of your work is available. So without some sort of portfolio, it's not, you have no leverage to get them to talk to you versus
But I think the big thing
somebody
here
else
that I
You're
think
just
we're going
gonna
to keep
not
reiterating.
let me talk, aren't you?
Thank you.
Nope, I'm not going to. With the big thing here is we are launching
Please
a
don't leave.
program.
I have something
called
very valuable. He's
Vidyuu
not talking about it yet.
verification.
I appreciate it.
And we have companies that literally want to hire people onto their staff, and we don't have an answer because we want to make sure that people have these set standards. And so what Vidyuu verification is going to allow is these companies, when they come to us, we're going to say, here's a list of everybody that we have verified that they're going to be a good hire. And so they're going to then reach out to people on the Vidyuu verified list. So I'd encourage you, if you haven't right now, you can actually get started for free. There is a $50 per badge, which is a 50% discount this year. And you can go to vidyuu.com/VV. Like I said, you get started for free. So you take a pre-test for building. There's a pre-test for scripting. And after that, we'll reach out with information on how you can take the in-person exam. I really feel like this is in person.
That's
I mean,
so
everybody
funny.
I know is
No,
like,
for
it's
real.
like this, you know?
My second life.
So
It's for real.
it really is. So yeah.
Vidyuu.com/VV. You will see me there. You know what I'm saying? That's what you
You
said.
got it. All right.
Yep.
So I'm going to cut him off before he goes into the next VV, not talking about official. Yesterday, somebody was in tours and they asked a similar question. First world they're about to publish. They wasn't ready. It's not done. It's not polished. It's not pretty. It's not as functional. And we were just like, publish it. Just publish it. Just get it out there. You got to have something under your belt so you can go build something else. You can go back and fix it. You can spend all your life on that one, but just publish it, because until you publish it, you're not going to know what to do. You need to play test it, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, okay, but when I publish it, then what? Because my world's there, but nobody's going to find it. I said, all you need to do is just put yourself out there. Post pictures from your world. Post, I just created this world. Share it to all your social media groups. Create a page like they were saying. And what happened? I swear to you, today, before noon, I got messages in my inbox. Do you know this person? I love this world. I've never seen it before. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I literally just was in a group of people in tours yesterday telling them to publish their world. And there it is. And they actually were like messaging people at Meta saying, y'all need to check this world out. And I'm like blown away. Like that one circumstance of just meeting somebody in that world yesterday during the event. And it's already on 10 different radars. So if you want to get yourself out there, put yourself out there. All this advice and more, just go do it, and people are going to recognize you. So that's how you get recognized. Just put yourself out there.
Thank you, guys.
Micah, we're going to take your question after one from the live stream. We got a question from Lillian in the live stream, so thank you, Lillian. And her question was, when will the conversation of metaverse apps for property happen, or have they? So we want to talk about property in the metaverse. This is an interesting topic because I'm a huge fan of how Horizon is currently functioning, where we have unlimited space. I absolutely love that we can just build forever. If you've been to Sandwich,
limited space. Let's
Sandwich has a world where it's the outer space. You're good.
I'm sorry.
Technically unlimited.
I thought it was on mute.
But yeah, I know it's like,
we heard what you said.
It's exciting. So go for it, Oculus. What do you got to say?
Oh no, I was just saying when you say unlimited space, you got to be well aware of your limitations of your capabilities, because while it may be unlimited theoretically, we haven't done unlimited yet. We've theoretically done unlimited.
No, I mean you can build another world. I mean you can go create new worlds right now and have another.
Oh.
That's what I mean. I mean,
it's
just
in a world. Okay.
I heard a year ago somebody suggest we should have a limit on the number of worlds we can publish, and I was like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Please don't.
We want
thumbs down.
We want to have dozens of connected experiences, right? Like, I love that we don't have to buy each of these worlds, and that they're going to sell our data so we can have all these free worlds, and everybody's like selling our data, and I'm like, well, how do you get it for free, right? I don't know if they're actually doing that, by the way, but on the other hand, I've enjoyed free apps online, whether it's Google search engine or some of these other free tools that we get because they're advertising to us. So I don't know, it's an interesting topic. I'm all about.
But the question is about what do you think about worlds, like houses in worlds? Is that what the question is?
No, I thought the question was like directing about. Is Lillian here by chance? Lillian, if you're watching, you can join us at Horizon Live in Horizon Worlds right now. So if you'd like to come and join the conversation, please do, or comment. We are still checking your comments. And
so we can check it out right now.
Welcome, great to have you. So the
thank you.
Thought though, I think is two parts, right? So part one is we can create as many spaces as we want. I love that. Let's never change that. Part two is, what if we made a space like this one here and we wanted somebody to open their taco booth over there, like a little taco truck, maybe there's a couple tires missing, there's a homeless tent next door, it's a box, it says Oculus 410 on it. You know what I'm saying? But the point is, what about selling space inside of worlds? I think that might be the second part of this topic.
We'll start with Tanzer. We'll kind of go down the couch. What do you think? You want to sell space in your world?
That's a pretty cool idea. I mean, I can imagine you having a very popular world and you have a little bit of capacity left, and you can have a billboard in your world, and you could advertise space in that billboard for X amount of time in some of these, like really popular game worlds or whatnot that people go to a lot. That's one way of.
I think we lost Tanzer.
Oh, no.
Might have.
Did he die?
But yeah,
While
I
he's
think
rebooting.
exactly what he said. Exactly what he said, though. So I think we should move back to our next questions. And if Lillian, you happen to be here, feel free to join us on stage. All right, Micah.
I was going to give 10 seconds to myself. Give me 1 second because I actually want to answer the question.
Go for it, Mike.
You love skipping me. So
I do love skipping him.
I think it's a great idea to have advertisements in your world, to be able to rent out space in your world. I think the constraint right now is, how do you quantify the space that you're offering? Insights really doesn't give you 100% of what I would say is the most valuable metrics. The door and your total unique visits, while that's a great number, if somebody really wants to know how many people are going to see my sign, you can't honestly tell them that. I mean, you can guess, you can use kind of what the estimations are in insights, but there's no real way for you to say, every month you're going to see 10,000 visits, or you're going to have 10,000 people who see your sign, or 100 people, because now I'm not hosting my world anymore and I've moved on to something else. So when you are thinking about advertising, be very careful about the expectation again with clients. What is it that you're offering for that space, and how do you quantify how many people are going to see that, even if you're in the top 100 or always in that popular tab? So just wanted to share that bit of information. Micah, what's up?
Yeah, so I guess just based on that, you could do a rake cast for every player that comes in, a rake cast to, and then have it affected by whatever billboard or whatever, and then collect that data, how long they looked at it. I don't know. I mean, you could do that if you're a coder, I would assume.
So a
No, you
leaderboard.
can't. Sorry. So okay.
It's a great
Let's
idea.
explain
I just wanted
the technical problem. The technical problem is there is no way to have a global variable. There are player related variables, there are player leaderboards. And so if you wanted to track that, you'd then have to go through a leaderboard that theoretically has 10,000 visits, so 10,000 people on it, and add those up manually. Yeah, you're not doing that, or you shouldn't do that. And there's no way to pull information from a leaderboard, and there's no information to pull from a player persistent variable without the players being online. So
and there's no easy way to reset a leaderboard for every week, so you'd have to delete it and then recreate it. So and then redo your script.
To put it lightly,
That's why I don't
not
do all
at
that
this
stuff.
time.
Okay.
Maybe one day.
So my original, I was going to talk about the monetization and whatnot. So there's creators and then there's clients. So you said that you have a website and they can go there. Is that just for the creators, or can clients go there as well?
Yeah, it's for everybody. It's for us too. I mean, we, like I said, it's just now getting started as of just a couple days ago. We've just started it, and there's a lot of little iterations we're going to be making this week before we officially announce it. This is definitely a good place to ask and questions. This is a great forum for that as we're developing it. The first point is it is for people who are creators looking to get hired. So that's like step one. But it's also if you wanted just to like check your skills, or you wanted to, have a badge that you can display in your world or in your website, you can now receive that kind of like a verification for Microsoft Word or some of these other verification programs that people go through. It's a great way. The Vidyuu name is pretty big in this space. And so we're hoping that when people see that, they don't even have to know about our verification program to say, oh my gosh, you've got Vidyuu on this badge. I don't know what that means, but it's obviously something important. And so that's what we're hoping people will start to get. And then the other thing that I think is really important about this is we have clients that we're going to be sending there that we just can't take on, but we're also going to expect to see people who've just heard of Vidyuu going to the Vidyuu.com website being like, oh, what's this creator directory, and finding creators just naturally and organically. The other thing that we see super huge value for us as our team is we're looking and we're constantly growing. We've got over, I don't know, at least half a dozen projects that are coming up in the next month that we need to hire for. And so how do we find creators to hire? How do we find unique talent that we wouldn't have otherwise found? And we expect that this is going to allow us to find creators we never would have otherwise been able to discover. Just because right now we do it all via word of mouth, and that's pretty hard to do. So somebody might be a little more shy and know about the program, be like, yeah, I want to get my business out there, but I just don't know how to talk to people at tours or any other event. And so this is a great way to find those people too.
All right. Yeah. Well, I guess I was thinking that Reddit's a massive platform. There's a ton of users, and you can add flair and whatnot. So like, if you created a Reddit page, and you like say there's people that went through your development process, or your they got a badge, then you could give them a badge on there, and then they can actually communicate back and forth and promote and all kinds of stuff. So that might be an option.
Yep.
And then that would you could collaborate, with people in here, and it just seems like just somewhere where the creators and clients can collaborate and easily speak back and forth and promote and So that was what I was thinking when you guys were talking about it all.
Just curious, I know you're mentioning, but have you ever set that up before?
Reddit page? Yeah, I've set up a Reddit page.
Okay, cool. I was just curious because I was going to say maybe we'll look into that. And I mean, managing another social media spot, but this is going to benefit this growth of the program. It seems like it's something that's a no-brainer, but we definitely got to find a resource to dedicate to it. So maybe reach out to us. Maybe we can get some more information from you.
Cool. All right.
All
Awesome.
social media, same name.
I wanted to quickly say while I had a moment here that I think this is really cool. And
You haven't had a moment,
like I said,
this whole time?
we really aren't announcing the verification program. We really aren't. I really am not. I know we keep talking about it, and I just can't help it. But the thing that I think is really
It's
cool
the
here,
elephant in the room. Don't
It
think about
is.
an elephant. You're thinking about an elephant.
not only has it got all of these things that we've just said, but we're also going to be using it to determine pay rates on our team. I mean, this is like how serious we are about investing into this. Is the members of our team are able to upgrade their pay by passing these and getting these verifications. We really believe it's that important that we all level up and grow, because you know how we were talking earlier. I think she's left now, but nope, there you are, very alloy. But the idea of getting clients right now, it is that door-to-door marketing, because people just, they don't really know. They maybe have some interest in the metaverse, but as far as like reality, they don't really know what's going on here, and we're just kind of starting to open the door. And the more as a community we can grow, level up, and expand and really bring more of these clients in, the more real this becomes, the more people, instead of us having to go out, are actually coming in, and they're reaching out to us. And I think a good analogy to this is when I was working on my videography business. I spent, I don't know, many thousands of dollars on building a Google web page on the Google Maps website. I know everybody's been to maps.google.com, but once I had it set up, it was crazy, because I went from spending thousands of dollars a month. I just had to stop that, and then suddenly I was receiving all of these people who just found me organically on Google Maps. And it was just the most incredible experience, because I no longer had an advertising expense, and I was receiving all of these massive clients that I hadn't previously had before. And so I think that's kind of the goal, right? Is we're basically building the Google Maps of connecting people and getting this natural connection to other businesses.
Jason Earls, welcome.
What's happening, fellas? I just dude, I don't even have a question. I just want to get up here and affirm both of y'all, man. Vidyuu, man, all that y'all doing, man. You guys and Oculus, man, you guys are just laying the foundation, trailblazing for other people like myself who coming in somewhat late to the party, not all the way late, but just one song started playing, everybody started dancing, then I came like, oh, we dancing? So I just want to say to y'all guys, man, again, both of you all, man, you all, like, I feel like, man, almost fanboying. Like, I wish I had a sheet of paper so I can get y'all's autograph, because you guys are crushing it. And I just want to say, on behalf of the entire metaverse, thank y'all. Yeah, let's go. That's all I got. That's all I wanted.
But
man.
yes, no, seriously,
Jason,
let's go.
Appreciate the shout out. Appreciate the the flowers, but all honesty, you're doing it big too. Even though you're out on the dance floor dancing to the last verse, you in here with us, and you all got to check out the Well Metaverse podcast, which now Jason has his own world hosting the podcast in Horizon.
Let's go.
So shout out to you. So you're doing amazing things too. I mean, you've already had incredible guests. You've been doing amazing things before that. Plus, I mean, from everything that I know about you, just from once removed, I'm a fan of you, because you're a good person, just deep down. You're a family man. You're a Christian man. You're an inspiring person. You speak to your experiences. So keep doing all of that, but do it in here so we can enjoy it as well.
Absolutely.
Keep doing it in here.
Do y'all see how Oculus out-encourages the encourager? How out-encourages the encourager? Dude, this guy's skills. I'm out.
I think my headset's about to die. Let me stop. And his headset did die, by the way. So I don't know if he's coming back. Alloy, what up?
Need that
I just
battery.
want to say,
yeah.
I came up here kind of do the same thing. Like this this talk show, we needed this. You doing it, I appreciate you. You being here, I appreciate you. I just gotta go. I also have one more question, okay?
Grab all the garbage and pull it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm working on like a project for somebody. So you know how we could sell things, we could sell assets, whatever. But is there anything you guys like as big creators do to prevent people from like taking or duplicating or like do you guys have those problems that us creators have? Like, 'cause I feel like you guys are so known.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I
nobody's
mean
really
we're
gonna
not going to talk about it, but it totally happens. I mean, for sure, right?
like all that weird
I'm,
stuff. Like
I'm not going to
y'all
call
have.
out anything specific. This is before we
Right, okay.
launched out of beta.
No, I'm with
There
you, TC,
was
bro.
a creator who had a world with a ton of other creators on it, and we saw
Mhm.
that world get duplicated
Say hey.
several times
Say
over
hey.
and turned
Say
into
hey.
other worlds because it was so
Say hey.
popular. And I'm not calling out
Yeah.
anybody because it's like we're all trying to be family here, but sometimes it does overstep
Move
boundaries
forward.
when
Doesn't
you're not
work like
asking
that,
for
right?
permission. Yeah.
All right.
Move
You know,
forward.
business is still business. There's always going to be those people
Yeah.
that like do it.
I
in
think
a
the big
different
thing
way.
as a tip is that when you have somebody who's just doing one thing for you, see if they can't do it for you in an empty world, right? Like if they're building one little asset for you, show them as a tester where it's going, then put them in an empty world, have them design it there, then you can take it out as an asset. You don't have to
Yeah.
have them coming into your world.
Yeah, we're
If they're
always
really
finding little ways
close
to
and
be
you're good
safer.
friends, feel free to bring them in. I mean, I think
Even then, sometimes
then.
you got to
Right.
be very
That's what I'm
careful.
saying. Yeah.
Got to be
I
very
appreciate that.
careful. I just saw it again yesterday. Poor unfortunate people. If you trust somebody and then y'all just decide it's not a working relationship, you got to figure out that exit strategy for both of you because everybody feels entitled to the work they put in, and it's the race to get it
Yeah.
published. So just be cautious of who you're working with, regardless, even if they're friends,
Oh,
because just like in business, friends, money and blood don't mix. Just like friends in business, you got to keep it business when it's business, keep it personal when it's personal. I mean, I've been working with Lakes unofficially since last April. In all reality, hijacking his walkthrough Wednesdays and his classes he was doing on YouTube, and I just inserted
Oh
myself because I just
snap,
wanted to be
bro.
around him and learn. And we started
I was
working
just
together on
watching
stuff,
it.
but we actually
Yeah.
keep
Look
it
at that.
very business when it's business, and then we'll be like, all right, let's go ahead and clock out, and now let's talk about personal, and that's how we got to
Right.
keep it in order to actually keep
Yeah.
it copacetic between us.
Right. That's what
Serious
I've been
note though,
learning.
this guy legit showed up while we were filming Walkthrough Wednesdays last year, and he was like leading the entire show. And as a videographer, I was like, "Oh, this is amazing! I don't have to do any work. He's doing so great." What I didn't know is he was literally hacking our show. And so I recently ran into it, and I was watching it for the first time in a long time. And I was like, "Wait, that's Oculus
Wasn't
410,"
hacking.
and he's literally leading us around. What happened? He literally did hijack. It was so funny.
That's awesome.
But
Yeah, hijack, not
he's
hack.
great. Love
I
this guy.
hijacked it.
I
Yeah,
love this guy.
You guys together, amazing. Oh, we're a great team. All right, thank you guys.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I think
So
we should
I
call
know
it
some of y'all
Oculus.
out there have
but
worlds that
we
you're
got-
kind of questioning, like, should you publish? Should you get a collaborator? Is it ready? The answer is easy. If you feel it's ready, if you show it to somebody and they feel it's ready, just publish it. What's the worst that's going to happen is that somebody sees it and they don't like it. I have worlds that I don't like, and I'm sure people don't like. My first world is terrible, and I will keep talking about it as such because it was my first world, but it's where I started. And I love talking about it because when I got 100 visits at my 1 year anniversary of being in here, I was blown away. It was like as if it was a message. 100 visits, unique visitors to my very first world at my 1 year anniversary in Horizon. And it was like a revelation. It was like 100 people took the time to go see that world, probably not because they searched the world and wanted to go see it, but it was because they enjoyed something that I did and they wanted to see what else I built. So keep those worlds, get them published, get them out
For
there.
1 second.
And advice that I shared from Waffle from last time, whenever he builds his next world, he wants to learn something. So after you get that first world out of the way, figure out what that next challenge you want to give yourself is. What do you want to learn? Is there a new tool you want to use? Is there a script you want to try and build? Make sure that you're always trying to improve, even if it's subconsciously, and just do something different in your next world, because that's where you're going to go back and look and you're going to see that progression. And I look at people's worlds all the time when they come talk to me, and I'll look all the way back to their original worlds and just their thumbnails, seeing just basic shapes turn into detailed entryways that turn into actual structures that are now houses. Like watching that progression just through thumbnails, it inspires me to keep sharing these messages because people are out here doing exactly that. Just publish it, learn something, move to the next thing, try and learn from that, collaborate with people, connect with people, watch the Vidyuu tutorials and learn stuff. He's got the mute on, so I'm gonna just take advantage of all this extra time that I got. But in all seriousness, though, go out there and connect with people, because I would never have learned anything in Horizon, including building. I would have never placed one shape in this world had it not been for the fact that when I met Lakes and when I met all the amazing creators like T. Mark Berman and Waffle Copters, Elastic Plastic, I can go on for days about all the people I met in the beta. And all I did was run around and break stuff to help them with
You're
their
the only one
world,
that
and they
has
encouraged me to
does
get
the
into
spade
building.
things besides,
So take advantage of these connections that you're
besides homie
making
that
in
did the spade.
Horizon and
Besides,
learn
what
from
the
it,
hell's
so
his
you
name?
can
Nope.
continue to improve what
Hardy?
you're doing.
Nope. Hardy. Nope.
He's
I
the
was
only
eating
one that-
another
Anything
piece
in
of
the chat?
broccoli.
That's the only one that understands.
Oh
Sweet.
no, we're all
But
good.
also
We got
jealous.
Do you
Shady.
know?
Welcome,
do you know
Shady.
him?
Thanks for joining us in the
Thank you,
chat.
man.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
well,
awesome. I
gotta
love
save
this.
his
This is
friend
such a great
so I
forum.
can find him.
No, not even. Okay. that's
Anybody out there
started.
who has any questions, any comments, anything they want to talk about, feel free. We do
I
have a
wanna-
few more minutes before
I'm
we
thinking
wrap
about
this
even
up.
at- 'cause
We
my
definitely
biggest
want to
thing is I want
encourage
that
y'all to
place to
come
be a
by on
chill spot where
Sunday,
people
10
can come and
o'clock
chill.
Eastern, 7
So
Pacific.
I'm gonna do.
We
I'm gonna
really
do a
want to
whole
see
bunch of
y'all
different
not
type of
only
things
in the
this. Like, I
seats,
want
but
one
if
of
you
the things
can't
I
make
can do
it,
is maybe
just
have
turn on
spades in
Vidyuu
there too, so
tutorials. We're
people
going to be
can come
live
play
streaming
spades
again.
and
Today was the
relax.
test. Every test that we've had in this world has been amazing. So thank you so much to everybody who's watching, who's here, who's already visited in the past. I just want to share some analytics. This world was at about 150 visits when I first republished this world after last November, and it's almost at 600 visits just from doing testing. So y'all are amazing. Like, y'all are showing up, and it's about the community. Every single time I tell you, it's the community that makes these worlds what they are. And without y'all, I'm not a builder. I'm not a creator. So seriously, thank you all. Micah, what's up?
Yeah, so I was looking through all the assets in the the asset list, and I didn't see a golf club. I was wondering if anyone had a golf club, or is there one in there? I just missed it.
There is a golf club.
It has to be. There's a golf asset, right?
There is a golf
There's
asset.
an entire golf. Yeah.
There's two.
See
it's
me,
a bunch of
bro.
golf assets.
See me, bro. Are you still here? Nope.
They don't
See
have
me,
that.
bro. Just made Top Golf, and the clubs, the respawning ball, the putting range, the holes with the targets, all that's in there. So
Yeah.
I think if you search, I think you search them now, right? You can search the assets, but there's definitely got to
Golf.
be a club.
All right.
Yeah, if you go to
I just didn't
create
see it
new
in there. I
world
was
at the
looking all through
bottom,
it earlier.
there's is it at the bottom? I see ARPG. I don't see is it sports?
No. It's in the assets. It's not a template world.
It's in.
Oh,
When
really?
you're in a
It's an
edit.
Oh, got it. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
in the assets.
Alright.
That makes sense.
I was like, what are you
Okay.
talking about? Like, oh, that's the template.
Yeah,
I was
'cause
like, I
didn't
thought
I
see
thought it was
in
going to be a
the
template world too.
It's like.
All right,
it's
appreciate it.
the second one down.
So should we do the sign off? Can we invite everybody to the stage?
Hell yeah.
We got to
Yeah,
do
let's
this
get
right.
everybody on stage.
Okay, it's
Everybody walk
unlocked.
through
Y'all
that
go
stage
through that little
entrance.
door there. Yeah, go through that stage entrance. We're all gonna do a big old bye. Woo! It's the classic.
Gianluca, adentro, puerta. Este puerta.
It popped up again.
Come on up,
Hey.
y'all.
So,
Woo!
I see.
It's so great to have
Everybody,
ya.
come on up here.
Woo!
We're going to get the curtains closed. Come on this side of the couch.
Woo!
They don't have the
Yeah.
arrows.
I can't
Fine,
reach.
come on
How's
up.
it going?
There you
I
go.
want arrows.
I'm going to grab a
There
couple
you
of
go.
pictures. Again, I really, really cannot stress how much I appreciate each and every one of y'all for being here. This is amazing. All right. Prince Joel, Juicy
someone just
Jessica,
broke
come on.
something.
Couch is like the end of the couch. So come in somewhere in front of the
Aloe?
couch. Yeah, all of that's
What's
good.
up?
All that's good.
What's up, bro?
I'm trying.
Chilling. You drop your coffee.
All right, everybody throw some confetti up. Throw some confetti up. Love it. All right, y'all.
My shoulder just cracked.
Y'all,
Damn.
does anybody here know the signature sign off for Vidyuu at the end of all his videos? Anybody know what he does?
Everybody look at DJ Carlos.
So, on the count of three, I'm going to count to three, and then we're all going to do it. So make sure y'all get your hands going and everything. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Bye.
Make sure you come back Sunday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific, right here, Horizon Live. Check it out on Vidyuu Nights every Sunday. Check it out. I'm Oculus 410. See y'all.
That was great. That was awesome, you guys. Thank
Why
you
are you
so
so
much.
good at that? You know, a year of